1. And we're back. Yay!
Hell yeah!
Okay, so this episode is going to be kind of weird. So we've got I think about an hour or so, and then Sam is joining us, which is kind of ironic considering that I've been getting messages all throughout this week from Sam saying what he's planning on doing the second that the session begins, and he's not even going to be here for it. So without any further ado, I guess I'll give the background. Last episode, they went off to Glandrine, as that is where they found out that Toxie was hiding. They spoke to the king, made a deal so that they could go off and find Toxie easier, that they would defeat Toxie with no extra strings attached other than to get a map to the ruins of Glandrine, as they are supposedly believed to be the ancient Ongoer sort of ruins. After getting back and defeating Toxie, they tapped on the card 3 times to summon Fergus, 2 of which that he explained the reason as to why they had to capture a second one is because he already healed Fletcher from the fight with Azazel. However, not long afterwards, he then made a hint as to the fact that he's now no longer going to be working alongside either of any of them, due to the fact that Felix cuts this tie. Mostly because that he asked if he would like to capture another one for him in exchange for an actual device that might be able to help them find Smithy, even though that he gave the information that Smithy was somewhere known as the Dark Centre inside of Iris City. A place that Anarche has heard of and knows relatively quite well, and a place that Felix has heard of and been told of via texting Anarche about 3 sessions ago. During their downtime. However, Fergus then, after basically cutting these ties and just going, okay, fair enough, I guess this is it for a while, I now have to go off and speak to a king, or deal with a king, to which he disappears. Some dialogue on Fergus and their opinions on Fergus, and also some issues that they're having and sort of analysation of Fergus comes up, to which the conversation is ended with Tendra Grum saying, hang on a second, did he say that he was going to see a king? To which Anarche opened up a portal, enabling everyone to go through it and get immediately to the castle, only to see it strewn, only to see it basically decorated with the bodies of the knights of the king, and the head of the king is being held up. Still attached to his body, I will say. He still seems somewhat conscious, but he's currently being held face first by one of the undead assailants of Fergus, known as Warhead. According to Anarche, there are 3 of these weird undead puppets, and then immediately Fergus appears sitting on the throne of the king and begins asking him about a telepath, or where the previous king's tomb was. We now come back to the scene as you guys are seeing this. You're about 10 meters away from him.
Just awkwardly standing there.
Completely in shock. It's like, oh. King's men have fallen.
I can't get back up.
Such a shame.
All the king's horses and all the king's men.
Where are they?
You then just see sort of Fergus notice that all of you guys are here. As he just says, fancy seeing you here. What are you doing in this castle?
I need a map.
You need a map? And what exactly would that be for?
For some old ruins that I was going to get after dealing with the toxic person.
So you want some map that this guy was going to thankfully hand over to you.
Yep. Although that seems a bit difficult for him right now.
Well, I need him for something, but I don't exactly see why he can't do two jobs at the same time. Could you, Your Grace? As like sort of the king's arms sort of reach up and grab hold of the arm of his assailant, as it seems as though the grip of this zombie has tightened around his face. He does not answer anything other than just like, it seems like rather uncomfortable murmurs. By the way, I'll just say, whilst this is going on, Tendra is just sort of looking at the rest of the party, then looking back at Fergus. I mean, aren't we gonna do anything about this guy? I mean, he's clearly evil.
That's an out of character.
This seems like rather aggressive tactics to get what you normally would use other pawns to get, eh, Fergus?
That's true. I don't usually like to dirty my hands. As a matter of fact, I guess you could say I'm not. But this man, he tried to attack me after I only tried to ask a simple question about exactly where the previous king was buried.
I couldn't imagine why.
I know, right? It's almost like as if he didn't want me to steal his father's powers from his cold, dead corpse that wasn't using it anymore.
Indeed. Although I have to be honest, I'm surprised it took you this long to get telepathy path.
Let's just say that I've been leaving a few cases for last. I have a few reasons why, but I've never really needed it until now. Not myself, anyway. Personally, I've never really bothered with it, until I heard about a very interesting legend that led me to the realization that I'm going to need it, and very soon. Very, very soon. Let's say about as soon as the king either dies or tells me where his dear old daddy was buried.
Is it really the simplest way just to go through a king? Aren't there multiple telepath users everywhere? Why go for one of the hardest ones to reach?
Ultimately, the goal doesn't really matter, but if you're a keen or decent telepath, most people, usually smart ones, end up realizing that your powers become too obvious and very easily sought after. Only those who become strong enough are the ones that can outwardly claim that they are this powerful. However, there are some that are easier to grab due to the fact that they have never met any others like myself, or even like yourselves. This particular king was unguarded, or at the very least, he then points with his other hand. They're not exactly difficult to defeat. I was able to get through this place rather easily. Let's say about a couple of minutes.
Why do I have the feeling we're standing on Jeremy as he's talking?
You're not standing on anyone's body, but there are you can roll a perception to see if Jeremy is within the crowd.
Sure. Let's see, what's my perception? Oh, cool. It's just a flat d20.
The first roll of the day, and it's to check for
First
Jeremy.
roll of the day. It's an 8.
Mind
if I also roll nerve?
Yeah, sure. Your eyes don't really necessarily remove themselves from truly gazing at him. You do keep your composure, But yeah, as I said, like you can't necessarily see Jeremy. If Jeremy is within this crowd, you haven't seen him, recognized him, or at the very least, you haven't really looked for him too much.
Okay.
Still, going after a king? That's gonna draw a lot of attention. Not probably the ones that you don't want.
Have you looked around here? This place is a cesspool, so devolved that even the land of the sunken moon looks technologically advanced. This place doesn't contact any of the outside world. It barely even knows about the tournament that's going on right all over the globe. So, taking out one king, or at least removing the powers from an old dead one, doesn't exactly seem like it would draw too much attention. It's just a shame that you guys got here when you did. Couple more minutes and I would have had my hands on it by now. But, I'm assuming, Your Grace, as he looks back at the king being held up by one of his undead minions, that this map has already been finished. If you don't wish to talk to me, trust me when I say this, your death is going to come at much more of an inconvenience to both of us if you don't answer. And when I say inconvenience for us, I mean a sheer, unadulterated amount of pain for you. So please, answer my question.
The king eventually draws a pained breath and says,
So, you all worked for him? Did you
I guess.
lie to me?
No, and you literally, that's impossible with your, abilities. I'm not that good.
That's true, I'm afraid. None of them who spoke to you must have even known that this was connected to me. Well, except from one, of course, and that was the one who, let's be honest, is a little bit difficult to understand. Felix, I would recommend that you understand this man is trying to defend his entire kingdom, and this is very much keeping people away from the fact that they will lose more than a couple of knights if he doesn't hand over a simple power. I mean, you would understand. You gave up your powers for the sake of saving your family.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Oh,
Fair.
2 threats in 1. Good job, good job.
So here's the deal, Mr. Mighty Majesty. You give them the map, and you tell me where the king used to lie, and I will leave you be. Or, you don't give them the map, I'll kill you and we'll ransack this entire place, and I'll take your powers instead, leaving this place with not only no king, but no castle for a king to stay. How does that sound? Weigh up your
Ooh,
options.
threatening.
You just
Sorry,
sort of-
no, please, continue.
I'm sorry, are you... Is there something that you want? I mean, you wanted this map after all. So why are you getting the bloody way of it?
No, I just find your threats kind of sad, that's all. I mean, you've said, the same thing twice already. I mean, I get, repeating it in constantly, it tends to scare them more, but, man, this is kind of lame.
Yeah.
You're right. Warhead, blow his head off. It then commences just an explosion that just literally just fills this room with smoke, but also kills the king. As his head is just gone, and there's just a nub where just at his shoulders as he just drops to the ground. with a massive, deafening explosion that comes from this undead's hand.
Well, you happy now?
I
Alright.
wouldn't really say that. Just kind of wasted your time with that one, really, haven't you?
I guess you could say so.
He then goes over and removes from his pocket like a small gemstone of animite and then dips it into basically the stump. It begins to glow and eventually it changes colour.
There we go. 1 down, 2 to go.
He then places it in his hand, but then when he opens his hand, it's then no longer there.
So, you're welcome to ransack this place, since I don't assume that you need anything else from me, lads.
Phil's
No.
just silent.
Unless you're gonna get in my way again.
Again, I don't think I got in your
Again.
way in the first time.
Oh, it's a lot simpler if you hadn't have done that, but...
I mean, I could take this whole place down for you.
Yeah. That'd be more inconvenient.
Exactly. So don't tempt me.
Oh, is that a threat?
I'm gaining some tastes, some notions here of antagonization. What exactly have I done to piss in your cornflakes?
Oh, nothing. Entertainment. That's all.
Entertainment. Very well.
And you seem so serious all the time. I mean, you get so annoyed so easily.
It's less about the irritation of people. It's more when people try to undermine my very ideals and life goals. Now, don't you have a doctor to catch or something?
I mean, that can happen whenever, really.
If you're looking for a map, I heard some people run off in that direction. You best take a look.
As he sort of points off in a certain, at a large doorway, made out of, basically, it's made out of wood, but it's, casted in, a couple of different chunks of iron to, hold it up.
You're welcome to leave or go there any time. I'm not stopping you. I've got a few things that I need to do before I head off.
Oh, alright then. Well, don't do anything too distractive. Ugh.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Ugh.
So, does anyone else follow an arcane?
Yeah.
Unless you're still staring at the stump.
You just see Fergus.
No, actually, if I'm allowed, I would like to just drag the body away with me.
Oh, what the
king's
king's
one.
body?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Fergus,
Considering he's already taken the power from it, so at this point,
yeah, Fergus doesn't really
He
seem
does-
as if he cares. He just
no.
actually,
So I'm just gonna drag the body away with me while
he just he basically he continues by putting a cigarette in his mouth, lighting it with his finger, and begins just sort of like just taking a toke. And what he does is, as he sort of blows the smoke away, he then sort of begins looking around, and you can tell where he's looking. He seems to be looking in the rough direction of his puppets, like the energy signatures that you felt before. As it seems apparent that he knows where they are. Because again, it seems as that they're in other rooms that have no visual confirmation.
yeah.
But yeah, you drag the body. He and the undead do not care. Do you drag it all the way to the door?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm assuming none of the other two, you guys don't stop him from doing this, you just let him do it, you just continue going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you need a hand with that?
Oh, no, not really.
Okay. Let's just go.
You open the doors and people are beginning to scream. Some are holding knives, some are holding like daggers. Like clearly this was a kitchen. And it's just like people are just terrified. Men and women alike, just horrified. These new people who have just come in.
Well, wouldn't bother fighting. You already lost the battle. Your king's dead. Drop the body.
Some cry, some scream, some faint. They some don't know what to do. Some actually look very sick because again they are looking at a mutilated corpse.
Okay, that's kind of harsh. These people looked up to that man.
Yeah, well, he's dead, and there's not really much they can do about it.
Have you no heart?
No, not really. I lost that about 2 years ago. Well, good thing to you. People aren't. Well, this guy might not be dead forever. Maybe, might not be. Who knows?
They're looking
But-
at you with the most amount of confusion like you've ever seen in your entire life.
Are you saying we can do something?
It's probably someone who has a resurrection powers. I mean, think about it. We literally know a phoenix who can do it.
Oh shit, you're right.
And, as a possibility, our new friend might be able to do it. Although it's a possibility, because I don't really know what they're capable of.
They've seemingly disappeared.
Yeah.
Oh, where did he go? Oh, there he is. He's following us.
Tendra then is just like looking around going, if there's nothing of any interest to us, shouldn't we be getting back?
Oh, I need that map first. One, I guess.
I kind of hope that he's next on your list for removing of powers, Tendra?
No, none of his powers necessarily interest me.
Not something an enforcer would say, considering this country just lost a king.
And although sad that may be, you've also got to be looking at it from this perspective. Anarche, you were the one who said that you sensed 3 individuals, yes? I also sensed that same thing. And the thing that concerned me with that was, you saw the power that one of them generated. If the others are as powerful as that, taking him on when we are considerably damaged. She continues staring at Anarche when saying this, by the way. And that the fact that our numbers aren't exactly great at working together as a team, I doubt that we'd have much chance against a man that we don't understand his true capabilities. Trust me when I say this, I am currently holding back a great tempest of anger for the fact that he would dare do such a thing. But at the same time, I'm also a little pissed at the one who just strewn an entire king's body in front of their people. So, I'm a little preoccupied as to whose powers I'm taking first.
And let me ask you that in that case. Is that your reasoning, or is that your excuse why you did nothing back then?
It is more of a reason, but I would say that I would be lying if I didn't say that I was also using as an excuse. I didn't want the king to die, of course I didn't, but at the same time, how could we have helped him?
There could have been something. I'm in debt at this, man.
You could have fought.
As could
I
any
probably
of
could have
you.
won. Yeah. Difference is I didn't care. What about you two? You two seem to have a great affection on this. In fact, the last time I believe I spoke to you, you said about changing the world for the better.
And who's to say that I have the power to do so right now?
That's what you're using, huh? So when will you have that power?
You see what he was, correct? You know what abilities he has.
Yeah, and?
Then you'll also notice that the 3 abilities that he showed in front of us were pyrokinesis, spatial manipulation, and teleportation. If he only has just those 3, he is already an endangerable threat. But if he has more than that we don't know about, and we just attempt to attack him without understanding the full extent of his power, it would just be suicide. It's the only reason why I assume that the rest of you didn't jump in, but at the same time, it's also the reason I didn't.
That's where I have to disagree with you, to be honest. As powerful as he may be getting with all the powers that he's collecting, there's one fatal flaw that he has.
Which is?
He's not a fighter, nor will he ever be one. Which may sound silly, but there's a big difference to what makes the strong. He'll never understand how to actually fight people in a true battle. He doesn't have that sense. His way of fighting is relying on his corpses to do it for him. Why do you think he didn't actually do any effort himself? Because it's easier? Yes, but also because he doesn't know how to. That's why he's collected warriors who actually fight, and probably have kept some parts of them to actually be able to do so.
You don't have to be someone who can throw a punch to be able to win an entire war all by yourself, as he's currently doing.
No, but against people our level, he does.
So you say that he is beneath our abilities, that we could have taken him down?
Yeah.
Then why don't we? Why didn't we?
Because none of you chose to step in. As simple as that.
I hate that you say it out loud, but you're right.
She's left with nothing else to say, and fair enough, Felicia.
If you want to actually start sorting things out, then you better start actually taking action instead of relying on other people to do it for you. I'm not going to hear any other excuses about how none of you will save the king. You all had the responsibility in that situation. What'd you do? Nothing. You left it all to me. You just said a couple of things in that. If you actually want to actually have reasons or say things, don't just come up with excuses. But I'll have power later, or we could do something. Actually, just do something about it. I don't waste my time. And Anarchy is just going to wander around the castle and try and find his map.
Fair enough. Roll investigation, and I'm also going to say, I guess roll. I don't actually know what to roll at that point, but like, I guess
more nerve.
I'm gonna say Anarche. Do you think that would be a persuasion, sheer charisma, or an intimidation? What was the real?
I just feel like it's charisma. He's just saying, he's not trying to like imply thoughts onto people. He's just saying what he thinks.
He's sort of trying to get his thoughts across, but also specifically tell them for actions. I was actually going to say you can roll 18. It with advantage. I mean, you can. Okay. You can.
I'll roll it against if I get an actual 20. No, fair enough. 18.
She does seem a little shaken about what you said. Again, it's up to anyone else if they wish to roll against an arcade for any particular reason. But again, this is just more like he's obviously like what he said may very well impact the way that everyone else thinks in one regard, which is shit. He's kind of right.
Would be the role to oppose Anake?
It would either be. I think at this point it would be nerve.
Okay.
Or willpower, I guess, actually. One of the two.
We'll go with nerve since it was mentioned first.
Fair.
But also, if I succeed on my nerve, then I get it.
Yeah, true.
Jammy fuck.
I mean, yeah. Fair enough.
I mean, I'm not at max. I think I'm at like 58 currently.
Yeah, you did spend quite a bit last fight, so.
Yeah.
You mean 48?
It might be 48.
Yeah, it's 50's your max. Yeah, you beat his. You're not necessarily waved by anything that he said. As a matter of fact, you actually think kind of, your own thoughts on this, whatever your own thoughts that make up the excuses to why you didn't, and even reinforcing the fact that, well, Anarche says that he doesn't care, so he's only saying this just to maybe make himself feel better, or he's not, or maybe he's just saying it to just make everyone else feel shittier. You don't necessarily know if you believe what he's saying or the words that he is telling, but either way, you're in this pedestal moment where you just think, oh, he's saying this about everyone else but me. It's the best way to put it this way. But yeah, roll me an investigation check, Anarche, as you attempt to go around.
Let me 10 real quick. 2 berries.
2
That would
berries.
bring. That doesn't matter. 2 berries brings me up to max anyway.
I got a 3, so Anarche is having an adventure in the castle.
You are still in the kitchen.
Um,
There must be a map somewhere.
There must be a map somewhere. Who's the most important looking person in this room?
There seems to be a rather portly gentleman with like really well done white hair, white curly mustache, and he's probably embellished in the most beautiful looking sort of garments, jewels, and robe.
I just go, you. Where'd they keep the maps?
I wouldn't know. I'm but a humble, noble lord of these.
All right, then who would know where the maps are kept?
Possibly that would be the cartographer, sir.
All right, and where are they?
He just points off in a direction.
I follow the direction.
Uh,
It's the wall.
What does everyone else do?
Felix will look to Tendra. It has come to my knowledge that Fergus knows of the location of both Ten and obviously my family. It might be safe to say that they might be a potential target for Fergus at some point. We should probably message Ten.
I don't think that that's the case. Anarche was right. He seems to be going after things for a specific reason. If he was, he would have already tried to collect them. Besides, have your children even shown any cases of having powers yet?
This is less me saying my family's a target, more me saying Ten might be a target.
My father is not easily taken down by something of this magnitude. Besides, even if he was, as I said before, I doubt his abilities would be of much use to Fergus. I've noticed a pattern of some sort in his victims.
It's fair.
Roll me again an investigation check, Anarche. Meanwhile, Fletcher and Felix, what are you doing? So obviously you're having this conversation with Tendra. Do you wish to do anything else or continue talking to Tendra?
The sooner we find this map, the sooner we can get on with our mission.
And Fletcher?
Fletcher's having a crisis of conscience.
Okay.
He sat there, did nothing, even though that's everything he's about.
Fair.
He'll just follow whoever's closest for now, as he contemplates why he even went on this journey to begin with.
Fair. You're just with Felix and Tendra, who are still in the kitchen, whilst Anarche is rummaging around. Anarche, you got a 17, correct?
Yep.
You eventually find a room that is covered with all sorts of paper and large amounts of equipment and so on and so forth, which, when you look at one of the scrolls of paper, it is indeed a map, but there is no individual here that is inside of this room. It is void of other people.
Well, I go to, I guess, a desk and check the first map I see on it. See if it's... Because I assume it might have been a recent one, so...
Roll me either, I guess, wisdom, which I guess would be an insight, actually, or roll me an intelligence.
I'll roll wisdom.
Okay.
19.
You sort of like run your finger across like one of the side parts of the map, so as to like if this would smudge, it is not going to ruin the map in any way, and you do so, and it is actually still relatively a little like wet, like some of the ink. This seems to be the most recent map written and drawn.
Well, I'll assume this is the one, and I'll just scroll it, like, you know, take the map and put it in my pocket dimension.
Fair enough. You roll it up and throw it in there.
Alright, I guess I try and find my way back to the group.
You do so rather easily, as you then find like basically like if this was in like some kind of anime, like two of the characters would basically have those like squiggly dark lines over their head, just looking really depressed.
It's also probably pretty easy to find us with the amount of power we have.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. By the way, you've noticed one by one, Anarche, those undead are disappearing from just like vanishing from the castle.
Yeah. Oh, alright, what are we doing now?
Well,
Well,
let's we continue
either
on our mission.
yeah.
To find Smithy, I guess.
I guess.
Oh, jeez, man, this is depressing. Alright, well, I'm gonna go and... I'll take you guys back. I'm gonna go and do something fun. You guys are just fucking chill. Because I'll open up a portal back to Thingamajig's house.
Fair enough.
I do owe Anake cookies.
Yeah,
True.
and a milkshake.
Banana.
Yeah.
So you head on back. You're all back at Felix's place. Anarche, you also step in through the portal with them, just to sort of
Yeah.
greet them there on the other side and everything. Tendra then says, "So you said that you were going off somewhere else. Where exactly are you going?"
I'm gonna wander, figure something out. I'm gonna have a shower first, though. Because, I want to get comfortable. You have spare towels, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just closet in the hall.
we had an awkward situation last time I took a shower. We didn't have spare towels. That was
I'm going to say we'll give you guys a long rest here because it is actually quite late in the day back here. So we'll give everyone a long rest. We'll replenish off everyone's maximum health.
Okay.
I'm just now writing this all down. Felix, your maximum health is 191.
Yep.
Your vitality outside of your powers is what?
55.
55, and then that would mean that it's 75 in maximum supercon, and your milestone count is
18.
80. Jeez. Okay. I've already got yours, Fletcher. Anarche, yours hasn't changed other than your current health, because obviously you took quite a lot of damage last time.
Yep.
Yep, that's all good. Yeah, so you guys all get like nice rest, showers, you know, clean clothes, the whole lot. Tendra,
Felix will start on those cookies.
Tendra does stay here, and so does pretty much everyone else. The next day, by the way, at night you get the special milkshake and cookies, Anarche.
nice.
As you're settling in for bed.
Yep.
Throw a bedtime story on top of that, yeah.
Oh yeah.
As we now have it like you know, it's the next day. as sort of waking up and getting back into the swing of things, you basically you sort of do whatever, have breakfast and stuff like that. Tendra sort of saying about the fact that there is still the possibility of maybe trying to lure Fergus into a trap, considering that you have the card. There's another thing going on about the fact that she said, but there's also the fact that we could just trick him or just forget about him and hope that we meet him again in another circumstance. Another particular one is also talking about Smithy and everything like that. Now that we know where he is, we can find him. Maybe we can solve all of this situation and go to the land of Husconia and save his wife. During this time, Anarche, you're obviously eating and everything. You're hearing all of this.
Anarche's got his phone out. He's put in his headphones and he's got one ear out, but he's mostly just jamming to music while eating food at this point.
Fair enough. Yeah, you do hear all this. I will say the other characters are also here and they're hearing this. Raki is still giving full-on evils to Tendra, but again, because that it's in Felix's house, she is not doing anything. But every now and again muttering and mumbling something under her breath. That only Fletcher can hear every now and again, just saying, "Stupid Tendra, take your power, shake them out of you, slap the powers right out of you, give them back to Adriana." But yeah, so some utterances and here, there, and everywhere. Aldous also being there and everything like that, not really knowing what to say about the situation that occurred. As it sort of comes to the end point, it's now time to make a decision. As Tendra then says, "Okay, but we need to make a decision as a party. I feel like, as easy as it would be to go out and find Smithy, I feel like there is also some possibility that doing this could very much be difficult for the rest of us if we don't all make decisions together. Your party is incredibly capable, but alone, it could be problematic."
That's fair. In terms of tricking Fergus, I think that might be a bit difficult now that he has telepathy. Anake looks over. You're sitting in the corner with your headphones on.
Yeah.
You just hear a couple of songs just playing through his headphone.
Anake, we kind of need you here for this conversation.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. What?
We're deciding on what we do next, where we go. Wherever we go as a party.
All right. Cool. What are we doing?
That's what we're deciding on.
Oh.
Well, I think we should try and find Smithy. Ultimately, at the end of this journey, we need to help your wife, Felix. That should be priority number one. Everything else comes next. I told you I would be in with it for the long haul, back when I helped you out in the hospital. I'm not breaking that promise anytime soon.
Okay, thank you for that. What say you, Anake?
Yeah. We could do that. I don't see why not. I'm sure I'll run into someone strong enough. Hopefully, anyway.
He said that it would be somewhere in the dark center, which means that it would be in that underground location that I've heard about. Wait a minute. I think I've got an idea. If we're going there, I've heard legends and rumors about a brother of mine. I've never...
Grom.
You've met him?
Well, yeah, that's how he got his knuckle dusters.
And when were you going to tell me this, Felix?
I wasn't there that session.
No. As in, in your downtime, you went and got knuckle dusters, made by Jimmy Grum.
I didn't make the connection. To be quite honest.
It's a pretty very different name to the usual. You know what? Never mind. If we go there, maybe I can talk to him, get to know him a bit, but that's where I'd like to go because...
No, he wants a really whack ring as well, apparently.
What kind of ring?
Apparently it makes you like the ultimate forger or something.
I would like everyone to roll me a world knowledge except from Anarche. As he has pretty much confirmed that he doesn't really know too much about what's going on. I guess, Anarche, you could roll me a history.
Yeah, sure, I'll see if I remember. No.
Cool.
You remember
Great.
just exactly what you said. I have to have a look at Tendra's now.
Save us, Tendra.
Ah, she has exactly what I assumed she'd have. Nope, she does not have it. You got an 11, Felix.
I got the highest.
You got the highest. You've not really heard of any specific objects that enhance people's abilities, but it could be like a special blood-forged or will-forged ring that grants people exponential increase to one's capabilities, but you've never heard of one that can do so for blacksmithing. For everyone else, it's a complete blank. Nobody really knows what Anarche just said. In fact, based on what information that Anarche just gave, he barely knows what he just said.
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Either way, did you ever go and meet him in the dark center? Anarche?
Oh, me? Well, yeah, I met him and chatting for a bit.
Well, that means that you could take us to him immediately, couldn't you?
I could. Or we could just, be normal people and walk.
Well, she then just, hovers her hands over her appearance as she has got red skin, black eyes, and horns sticking out of her head. Well, I mean, normal is obviously something that we're not, so I think we might as well just take the fastest route that's more efficient.
I mean, you could have just pointed to the band. It glows. It's obvious we're not normal.
I don't know, it seems like a pretty normal thing to be doing nowadays. Everyone seems to be signing up to kill each other in this universe.
I mean, it's up to you, Mr. Portalman. If you don't want to do so, well, I guess we're walking. Although, how far is it?
It's a distance.
Great. Wonderful. Anarche never skips a leg day.
Anarche is leg day.
Muay Thai.
Well, I guess we'll teleport there. We'll make a scene.
Anarche, I'll make you more cookies when we get back.
I want this basically 6 months time skip. Not you've just been doing little side quests, and it's like Anarche's now gained weight. Oh, please, just some more cookies. I just need another cookie.
So even if he gets fat, his super strength will sustain his body.
His super strength is fine. His weight increases, but also then he gets a bonus damage resistance to blunt damage. Oh.
He gains a frost resistance.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Anyway, fair enough. So, yes, Anarche, you obviously open up your portal.
We'll just go straight to Grum.
Fair enough. You appear inside of what seems to be a really sort of dank, underground catacombs. Sort of this large tunnel that just seemingly goes on forever. There's not a single ounce of daylight because there's not a single piece that isn't just fully cobblestone, as it is a flat ground and then circular sort of going up as into sort of an ovular sort of shape above you, as it's just an entire tunnel with a rounded sort of ceiling. The whole thing is cobblestone, and it's just got lights going across the top to to enable you guys to see. With that being said, you see 4 stalls. One with a large amount of weaponry, sort of like gadgets, gizmos, ammo, even chunks of armor. But behind it, embedded in the actual wall, is a massive what looks to be a doorway, but there's no door attached to it, and you can see like heat waves coming out from it, as well as like glowing redness, going on the inside. The other 3 stalls are a little less clumsy. One of them has a woman, sort of reddish, sort of greying hair, very curly and wavy. She's dressed in like these sort of tightly fitting robes, to sort of as they show that she is very slender. She's getting on in years, and her stall is covered in trinkets and jewellery. The other ones nearing further back, there's one that just is literally an empty table with nothing on it. But there's a man sort of dressed in this black burlap that's just covering him in like layers of this black burlap. Black burlap, sorry. And the other one is a guy dressed in a perfectly set up suit. And he has like a little, what seems to be like a little safe box on his desk of the kiosk. So you have these 4 things, but again, there's no one behind the place with like all of the metalwork and all of the weapons and armor.
Yo, Grom. Give it a minute.
You then just hear, "What? I'm coming, hang on." As you then just see before you a humongous berserker Huskonian that just walks out, deep red skin, yellow eyes. He's just all muscle and a bit of fat just coming on out here as he just towers over you guys. And he actually almost like towers over his own stall, but he sort of like kneels down a bit. "Welcome to Jimmy Grum's Grum Emporium of Blacksmithery and Gadgetry. How can I help you today?" "Oh, it's you, Anarche. What do you want?" "Oh, you brought Felix."
And a sister.
"I'm sorry, a what?"
Technically your sister.
Yes. My name is Tendra Grum. I am born to Moira Grum and Dr. Tenkudo Avlara, the final of the Grum family. I am your youngest sister. "Welcome to the family, love. Haven't heard of you myself, but that's what happens when you got almost 500 siblings. Well, lovely to meet you, but unless if you're here for any particular smithing, I don't really have anything else for you, I'm afraid. How old are you?" 22. "Well, that's a lot of birthday presents I've missed out on, but as I said, we don't really do birthdays and giftmasses, so I'm afraid that's pretty much your lot then. Anyway, moving on. Yes, Anarche, Felix, what can I do for you lovely lads?"
Oh, I mean, I'm almost tempted to ask for a weapon with how that went.
Well, what kind of weapon do you want?
But I don't know, Grum. Could you make a weapon better than my already brilliant sword? And I'm gonna pull it out and just bring it up closer. I don't know.
He takes it from you and has a look at it. I mean...
I don't know that.
Ah! The Alexa is screaming at you. I don't know that.
Doesn't know.
Alexa, no!
Grum doesn't know, I guess.
I don't
He doesn't
that.
know.
Turns out he has an orb as well that sounds suspiciously a lot like an Alexa. I don't know that one. No, so he has a look at it, and he just goes, "Personally, I think that this is quite shoddy craftsmanship of titanium smithing, but the blood transfusion seems to be all in order. As a matter of fact, it's not half bad. You want something equal to or greater than this?"
Oh no, I want something greater than it.
Well, lad, you've come to the right place. Look, for you guys, Animon children, whatever you want to call them, you don't want titanium. What are you doing?
And then gives it back to you, and he sort of almost like mimes, like, you know, sort of putting his hand up like as if he's about to give you a slap. It's like, "Urgh."
Look, you don't want titanium, you want ion. It further enhances your own abilities with energy manipulation and actually allows you to do more damage. On top of that, it also can take a hell of a lot more punishment than titanium, and it's a lot easier to blood transfuse with energy manipulating blood. Well, and spatial blood, anyway. But, look, I don't think that, you have the cash that we're looking for here. Surely you don't want a legendary, bladesmith like me working on something like that. I'd bankrupt you after a couple of minutes.
Oh, how much would it be?
Well, if you're looking at the same rough capabilities of what your current sword is, plus being a better, well-made, well-bettered sword, you're looking at around about... he then just gets like a calculator. You can tell that this calculator is made out of like some really durable material because his fingers are just like smashing into these buttons. Click, click, click. Carry the 1. 10 over... if we're doing that, so that would be a certain amount of material. I'm assuming that you want it a 1.5-hander, just similar to the current weapon that you've got there?
Yeah, similar, yeah.
Okay, so that would be about 1.5. That's that. Then plus blood transfusion, of course. Are we looking for an animite infusion as well?
Nah, we don't need that.
Okay, that would make your total up to 4,650.
Wait, only 4,000.
Yeah, 4,650.
Oh. That's relatively cheap.
What, you saying that you've got the cash to spend nearly $5,000 on a particular device like this?
I mean, I've got 27 to spend.
Well, sir, if you want me to do so, I'll be needing something.
You know what? How about... How much would this cost? Not only do we make a Animite infused, we also make a twin sword to go along with it. How much would that cost?
You want me to make an identical weapon to the exact one that you want me to make?
Yep.
Well, quite literally, if you want me to make twin swords, that will then double your pricing, which of course would then come up to a lovely 9,300.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll pay that.
Normally it would cost a little bit extra since it would be separate, but if they're twin blades, I can make them out of the same cast, the same blood, and obviously the same forging, techniques. So therefore it actually makes it a lot easier on me, as a matter of fact. Especially if they're twin blades. Yeah, you just leave that with me. I will, however, be needing some blood or a copy of your powers to be able to do this.
I guess the blood will have to do.
Fair enough. Stick out your arm, lad. So like removes this like large sort of gun-looking thing with like a needle instead of a barrel. As he just jams it into your arm. Roll me survival.
Oh boy. 8.
Okay.
Good thing we fully healed.
Yep.
That is true, to be fair, that's true. Okay.
Oh, I assume I should also take, what, 9,000... How much was it? 9,000?
9,300 away from your current amount.
Okay.
Okay. For the rest of the day, so even if you have a short rest or get fully, unless if you get fully healed, you currently have an ailment that has removed 3 points from your maximum health for the rest of the day.
Oh,
It will not go away until 24 hours or until someone has healed you 1 ailment worth of healing.
Time to stuff those cookies down.
yeah.
His mouth.
Full heal cookies, go!
I might have to pull out a pack of muffins. It might be getting serious.
Okay. Just writing this down. There we go. Okay. So, he takes some of your blood, then screams into the doorway behind him. Tim! Tim! Ah? Tim, put on 3 ingots of iron. Yes, iron steel. Yeah, we're gonna need that, lad. And oh yeah, take this, will you? He leans slightly in, and most of you notice like this very large, bony hand that looks like as if it's like a rake's hand just wraps around this gun that was once used to steal the blood of an Arche, and it suddenly disappears in, like slinking away into the room. Cheers, lad. Yeah, I'll be in there smithing it in a second. Right. Anything else for the rest of you guys?
Thinking.
How much for just a simple set of spiked gauntlets?
Gauntlets? What, little old you's gonna use some gauntlets?
I am quite trained in martial arts and fist brawling.
Yeah, well, so am I, lad. And I don't really worry about some fancy old gauntlets. But yeah, I can get you some. Any particular reason as to why you want gauntlets, though?
He's jealous of Felix.
I had a pair of punch daggers. They were simple enough, but thought I might as well upgrade.
Oh, just to let you know a bit, most of the time gauntlets, especially for those who aren't used to using them, they're nowhere near as effective as knuckle dusters or specially designed hand reps, mostly because that gauntlets can sometimes sap away the most amount of your natural damage from hand-to-hand fighting, mostly because that you then trade half of that, adding on from the actual material that is made of the stuff that's wrapped around your hands. On top of that, it also gives you more defense on said hands. But yeah, you kind of lose a bit. What I'm trying to basically tell you, and this is now meta, is that if you were to use gauntlets, you half your brawler additional damage. So your level 3 brawler or your master of the arts plus, basically when you add your dexterity or your strength damage, you don't do that. You actually add only half of it, and you then add your gauntlet's damage modifier to the attacks. Whereas if you actually have knuckle dusters, you just add your whole damage from your strength or dexterity, and then you add the damage from the dagger, from the punch daggers, from the knuckle dusters, whatever. The only real reason as to why people would often wear gauntlets is because it's also partially armor as well. So it's up to you. Adam.
Yeah.
Speaking of partial armor, I was possibly thinking of getting maybe a breastplate that transforms with me, per se, doesn't break off when I...
Yeah, basic blood transfusion will do that for you, mate. That's not too difficult. I can do that pretty simply. That wouldn't cost you too much. Although, based on the size of you, and also based on the amount of money that you'd actually want to spend, I could get you something pretty decent in terms of material.
That'd be nice.
Fair enough. We've got some Buron for decent hard damage in the terms of impact and blades, but it's not very good in the terms of taking any kind of punishment from the cold. Rather resistant to the heat, mind you. It was usually that it's found and forged in Emginar Linear, so of course it has to be a metal that can soak up some heat, whilst also being able to take some real decent punishment. Basically, Buron is pretty much almost as heavy as lead, but as durable as tungsten. However, it has a innate weakness to the cold.
Which is a problem if we do end up going to Husconia.
However, we do have some other types of materials for you. For instance, we have the lovely ion. A lot more expensive than Buron, although only by about 0.5. However, the main reason that most people would want ion is because it grants a certain amount of resistance to sonic damage, energy, or even sometimes spatial, depending on how it's infused.
That could be rather good, considering I already have physical resistance to poison, physical fire. So
There is, of course, a couple of other possibilities. But to be honest, at this particular point in the game, you guys are pretty powerful. I've seen some of your fights, and I'm pretty darn sure that you don't really need anything any less than Buron or Ion. Although there is some... I don't really have any on me, but I have heard that there are certain places, especially Husconia, where they actually have a certain type of steel called cryosteel. Tantra then, chirps in, yes, and she then removes her jute to reveal what it is. It begins to sort of create a slight mist on the air itself, as if it's freezing cold. Cryosteel is one of the most popular materials that we have, because not only does it continue to be cold, but it's also resistant to it. However, large amount of temperatures and heat can sometimes make an explosion coming off of the actual material. Big enough heat can melt it. Due to its incredible coldness, however, it does make it easier to break when going up against any type of heat-related attacks. It's also incredibly weak to energy. Exactly. I've heard that it's actually quite rare almost anywhere else on the planet, except from one location, Husconia. Nobody really knows why. It's not exactly secret, but it's still unknown as to how to make it. Or at the very least, it's very much unknown how to make it with the usual tools. I have a couple of things lying around, but can't really get my hands on the ingredients to make it, you see. But, if you got some of that, that'll give you a nice cold resistance to help you with the gaps in your current abilities, if you will.
that's fair. So for now, it was ion, was it?
Yes.
So for now, we'll go with that.
Fair enough. Since obviously you also needed some blood infused, I need you to roll me a Constitution.
Constitution, okay. Let's see, what is my con? Okay, so it's just a flat roll, apparently. Cool. Solid middle of the road.
That's fine enough. Okay, so you've lost 4 HP for the rest of today.
Okay.
So you have 4 less maximum HP, which I'll don't worry, I'll write this down. So you're actually up down to
187.
87 for the day. However, you now have He also basically, Gremlin has a look and just says, since it's a breastplate that you're looking for, and since it is ion, the amount of money that this is going to come up to you is around about... what's that? Minus that. Take that away. Add that on. About 6,000.
Alright. We'll transfer over 6,000.
Okay, please remove 6,000 from your point total.
Yep. Let me just pull out my calculator.
I am literally seeing it. So you have 5,867,000. I'm just going to change the 7 to a 1 on the 1,000, so it's now 5,861 instead of 67,000. 327.
327.
Yeah. I like how I just didn't even put a dent into it, really.
Yeah, no, that's...
One number changed. None of the others moved an inch.
Yep.
Yeah, fair enough. You transfer him over these credits from your band. He then takes some blood, throws. Then he sort of goes back and he places. He goes off himself, comes back. Right, if that's all, I've got work to do. So if there's anything else, I would very much like to know. Well, I have a question. What exactly are we doing? I mean, we're supposed to be looking for Smithy, right? So why don't we ask someone who seems to know a bit?
Did you say Smithy? I haven't heard that name
yeah.
in a little while. Why? Are you looking for him?
Yes?
And what are you looking
He's the doctor, isn't he?
You mean that you believe those faff stories about how he was a doctor? The bastard never took a single exam in his life. No, he's no doctor. He just got lucky enough to understand how the body worked so he could finish people off and steal their powers. Eventually he learned how to do it so well that he started understanding how other abilities worked. He started trying to design all sorts of crazy quack experiments. He actually at one point figured out how to put powers into fruit so people would eat them and gain powers. Instead of injecting themselves or taking drugs, they'll just eat a fruit and gain a power. Crazy quack. On top of that, he actually one time designed a pill where if someone didn't want their power, they'd actually take the pill and they'd vomit up some substance that looked like blood. And it would actually give out a small tiny little gem that was actually their powers, perfectly removing their powers without any incidents. However, not many people really want to be vomiting out a substance that looks like blood. Yep. Considering that there was no proof of the actual substance not being blood, considering it had their DNA all over it. So, yeah, kind of thrown out of the window with that one. There was another great... And the sort of as this happens, Tentra just goes, okay, we get it, but where is he? Personally, the last time I heard that he was skulking around down here. I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks, though. But I do know where he's set up shop. But I still have to ask, why exactly do you want to know where he is? Tendra then looks at Felix.
Trying to remember the exact reason.
I mean, if you want to know the reason that you've informed the others of, it is because that you believe that he might. He has this. You believe that he has the same powers as what Tendra has stolen, which is superpower manipulation. You believe that he might know a way to reverse your wife's condition because it is her superpower that is killing her.
That is what Felix would relay.
Oh, you actually say that, you believe that. You believe that he has the ability to reverse her powers. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've heard some rumours that he's been able to do some incredible stuff since the last time we met. I mean, I only saw him a couple of weeks ago, but prior to that,
I heard that in the 5-year war against the villains, the Horsemen, he apparently designed a couple of crazy, weird techniques. Some say that he has the ability to completely rejig a person's powers, permanently. And if they don't know how, they can never set it back. Yes, I have heard of him doing that, and you want him to do this so that he can save your wife. Well then, who would I be to deny you of such a possibility? Alright, I'll give you the directions. But just do me a favour and don't kill the bastard. The reason I say that is because he can be a little, irritating at best.
Felix will nod.
I think you might like him though. Especially you and RK. You don't really ever seem to take anything seriously. And depending on which way you look at it, neither does he. Right. You just go down this particular route down here and eventually you'll come to a crossroads. The crossroads, it will make you want to go into the obvious direction of the most light, but actually you want to go to the left, the one of the darkest route. Once you go down that route, keep following it until eventually you see only a singular light that's green. Underneath that is supposed to be a hidden camera. Say this particular phrase when you're there, and he should let you in. He then leans in closely so that no one else around him can hear. As he leans in and sort of like ushers the four of you to sort of lean in as well, he then says, I've actually got the phrase written down here.
Bippity boppity boo.
Bippity boppity, but no.
Michael Beard.
Here we go. Where is it?
Backbiting gist?
What's that one bed knobs and broomsticks spell?
I don't know. What is that spell?
Wow, it's so long. I can't remember it.
Supercalifragilistic expialidocious.
It is.
I mean, he's really good at whispering. I can't even hear him.
No, sorry. All right. I'm just trying to find it. I've got like a
No, I
million
just
notes.
imagine Grum's just sitting there going, "Oh wait, no, is that it?
No, is it this one? No, I think it's something like cupcakes and fairy dust. No, that's not it. That's a different password. That's Tim's password. He's telling you both his and Tim's passwords. He's telling you like the passwords of like all of these people that just keep trusting him. It's like, oh no, I'm telling you all these secrets.
He has it written on the back of his calculator.
We've just been staring at it. It's like, what do these numbers mean? And these letters, what?
Whose license plate is this?
Turns out you just have to write boob on a calculator and show it to the camera.
Set up Rada Necto.
Okay, so he says, I'm just looking in here. He says, you must first ask one particular question. He will then give you a counter phrase in which that you must then answer. The question is, if I approach you, what would you then do? He would then ask, I would raise my weapon in defense. You must then answer with, in that case you are to be trusted. If he then answers instead, I will have my hands in my pocket and smile. Say, then you are not to be trusted. Either of these two phrases will help you, but you need to remember the right ones, otherwise the door will not open. Trust me, he's skittish like that.
Understood. Just gonna go to my notes.
I was gonna
I'll
say, can we get that in written form?
Write it
Parker,
yourself.
Do not trust.
I mean, again, it makes sense if your characters would be writing these down. Because, I mean, like, half of your characters don't have high intelligence.
I find that rather insulting, actually.
To be fair, Kane, what is your character's intelligence?
20.
Minus how much?
12.
There we go.
Dude, let me make a quick intelligence check. Just straight intelligence. Let's see. That's a straight d20.
Yeah, let's play the fun game of, do I remember to make notes or not?
Okay. I hope that you've written that down. As he then says.
Somewhat. I've forgotten the first part already, but you know.
I remember roughly.
Fair enough.
Okay.
As he says that, he then tells you, like, you know, how to get there and, you know, whatever. And he goes, trust me when I say this. Whatever you do, don't listen to that one over there. As he then points over to the guy who's, like, beautifully dressed in a fine and dandy suit. He also then says, and probably best to stay away from Clokey over there. As he points over to the guy in black burlap.
Oh, so like two obvious shady looking people, don't go near them.
Yes, absolutely, don't go near them.
Okay. So which one are we going to?
So you guys head off. He basically tells you that, like, the stuff will take him a while to make. Come back in the next couple of days.
Okay.
As you head off down this place, do you continue going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask, while we're walking, can I level up one of my stones?
Hello, Sam.
I was here. I was here the whole time.
Whole time. Okay. What's the roll requirement again?
I mean, I think it's just 15, which is
Okay.
what I can roll normally.
Okay. Then don't get a natural one.
Okie doke.
Which stone are you leveling up before you roll this?
Nature.
Okay.
Because I have just literally 10, I have the exact XP to level it up, plus 10.
Okay. Yep.
Yay!
So you have it in your hands. It begins glowing, and then its glow becomes permanently grander as it now glows a higher frequency of. It gives off a higher frequency of sound, but it also gives off a smaller amount of light, like an extra amount of light.
It's more luminous.
Ooh. I'm guessing it's very clear to see.
The initial glow, yes, and then when he like takes his hands away from it, it is glowing more so than it did before he did this.
Ah. Aldous, what are you doing with that?
Oh, I'm simply increasing it with my own abilities.
Ooh, interesting. Is there a technique to that, or did you learn that?
Rye smile, and then, like, indicate towards the stone itself. It is something I was told.
Ah. Ooh.
But I don't think I can teach you it, regrettably.
Is it just a simple chunk of animite?
The stone, or what is taught, or what taught me? And there's no such thing as a simple chunk of animite.
That's true.
Tentra begins walking next to you and Arke and then just asks you a question. Just out of the blue and goes, "So, you said yesterday something caught my ear when we were talking to the villagers. You said about not having a heart, that you lost it 2 years ago. What did you mean by that?"
Let's just say, to put it simply, a few events transpired, and they left a permanent mark.
That's not satisfying
Pretty-
at all. I'm sorry. That's just not satisfying at all.
I know.
What actually happened to you?
You know, I'm gonna roll a nerve on an Arce's part. How much he's craving to be open.
Okay.
Low roll, he will be open. A high roll, he will be a bit more.
I see. This is why you've rolled nerd rather than willpower.
Yes,
Yeah, fair enough.
I could roll willpower, but I feel like it is more his charismatic part that is
Fair.
playing this part.
Okay, 4.
Ooh.
You
Four.
are wishing to open up.
He just sighs. You really want to know?
She looks back at the others that are currently talking about religion, looks over at Felix, who is just stoically walking beside you two, and she eventually turns back to you and goes, "Trust me, this is the best option on the table right now."
Cool. Alright then. I murdered my best friend.
Everyone other than Felix and Anarche, so you two, Fletcher and Aldous, I want you to roll me a perception to see if you heard that. Because Felix, you definitely hear this. And Anarche, you're the one who said it.
I decided to hope I heard it.
Everyone looks shocked at you. Why? What did I say?
What? What do you mean?
I mean, Anage was the one who dragged a body out into the
Fair.
courtyard. I don't
Uh,
think Felix is too surprised at that.
Fletcher, you don't hear it, but Aldous, you do.
I mean, from what I know of Anake, would I be surprised?
I mean,
Or even mildly shocked?
regardless of actually, no, you know what? Actually, I think it is actually a fair assumption to do this. I think it's best for us to explain it this way. All of you would be shocked, considering Anarche has never until yesterday. Anarche has never really shown any overly serious extremist views on anything in particular. Except from him enjoying a fight, which ends up potentially getting him physically harmed or the other person physically harmed. But at no point has he ever really seemed to be a person that would kill someone like a best friend.
Is it more surprised that he's...
Until yesterday, he never really strongly disagreed with anyone else in the party.
So it's more surprising that actually he has a best friend, or that he doesn't have a best friend.
It's more surprising that he would kill anyone that he would consider a best friend. Like, it's to you, it's the fact that like anyone would kill a best friend. You don't really know Anarche too well, but based on the way that he's acted, most of the time he has seemed rather nonchalant. But you literally just remember back to yesterday and the fact that he wanted cookies and chocolate milk, and then he messed around with you guys, making fun of himself drinking wine and milk together. And messing around and basically making him nearly sick just to look funny, silly, and badass all at once. And again, like this guy is the guy who killed his best friend. Like this doesn't add up to you, like at all.
I think I'll just kind of like keep eavesdropping slightly.
Fair enough.
About that, because most likely there is a reason. I'm assuming probably.
Technically, Fletcher's also still trying to hold a conversation with you because he didn't hear it. So
Yeah. Fair enough.
Can I do both things? Because you know how you can like
Yes. Yeah.
multitask.
I'm gonna say I need you to roll me a nerve because this is quite surprising to you. So, like, this will be, if you get at least a 10 or above on nerve, I'll say that you keep eavesdropping without breaking your conversation.
Okay, come on. +3.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Hey! Yep. No, you keep eavesdropping without missing a beat and listening to both Fletcher and what Anarchy just said.
Yeah.
Without
Can I say that, like,
missing anything.
the conversation, I've managed to change it from, like, talking about what I did to, have I told you the good news about how Animite is radical?
Okay. As we also come back to
No,
Felix,
you haven't.
Felix, this is surprising to you, considering that Anarchy, again, until yesterday, never really showed any extremist views against anything. Especially didn't really ever have like a super hardcore disagreement with anyone in the party, and has always been tried to be the silly character and the nonchalant, not really caring too much about super serious things, and has now like dropped the knowledge bomb that he's had a best friend, but also he killed him. And I want to point this out that like you guys have already found out from like his talks amongst you guys that he's like 19 years old. So this would have been when he was 17 that he killed his best friend.
Anarchy young.
Gotta get them young.
No. Tendra looks at you with like just a shocked expression. It's just like, I'm sorry.
Well, no offense, I don't mean this in a rude way, but your apology doesn't really do anything, nor do you have anything to apologize for, so it's a bit pointless.
No, but surely that must have been devastating.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. In fact, they were probably the closest person in my life.
So you don't have family or any other friends?
I have siblings, but age differences and time apart didn't help.
Well, I mean, you just saw my family issues. So, I guess you could kind of relate.
Yeah, I do understand that. It's not easy dealing with that sort of family. But yeah.
Is that why?
So that's what happened.
Is that why you're not in your own universe? You told me a while back that you weren't from this world. So is that why you've been running away?
It wasn't at first, but yeah, to give some explanation, I told Fletcher about this before. My universe is a lot more advanced than this one. They've made a long time ago figured out multiversal travel without the need of powers.
That's impressive. Even my father isn't that technologically advanced.
Your civilization won't be for quite a while. Could have been, but it won't. And I guess government and organizations set up groups to essentially travel the multiverse, and normally we would observe, help universes in ways we could, without revealing too much of our nature. And then we would, essentially, the things that we thought of importance and knowledge and materials we'd bring back. Essentially, we were able to thrive off that. There's a bit more, but to be honest, I can't really say I paid too much attention in history class.
That sounds a little bit more in character.
Yeah. Well, either way, I was assigned to this job with my best friend as a unit. And then eventually, on the way, opinions changed, and, a fight broke out.
I mean, what kind of opinions could change for you to want to kill? Or end up killing your best friend?
I don't really want to discuss that right now, to be honest.
I'm going to ask you to roll me a charisma.
Just a flat one, or a persuasion to try and ask them not to?
Yeah, no, I'd say persuasion. Yeah, fair enough.
To be fair, Inake is not the first person in the party to kill a friend.
Nope.
Yes, although to be fair, that particular friend-killing character may or may not be in this conversation.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, that comment was out of character. Just
no,
I want that on the record.
Oh,
I cannot be held responsible.
she continues to push a bit. It's like, still though, you were the one who said to me quite a while ago. Actually, feels like almost a year, but it's only been what 10 days since you told me these exact words. That someone else doesn't decide who you are. And you made me believe something else. So, I'm afraid I'm at the very least a little bit more concerned and questioning on why exactly you would decide to do so. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think you're an idiot. But you seem to have a lot lighter soul than most. So I have to wonder, what exactly was the disagreement about that forced your hand?
Well, it relates back to our job, I guess you could say. And see, the multiverse is a very messy place, as you can probably imagine. A lot of unbridled chaos and, well, a lot of issues that go on. But I think after a while, these sort of things eventually started digging into him too much. And I think at some point he essentially just wanted to lock down a universe and essentially correct it, almost be a ruler in a sense, define everything and try and, well, go too far in certain aspects.
So, he
And-
eventually developed some kind of god complex.
Essentially. Which is why I asked you before earlier about this whole thing about saving the world. Something like that doesn't exactly just happen. It's something that will, if you're not careful, end up destroying even any major decisions like that. When I disagreed with him, he didn't really leave me much choice, and we fought. And I ended up killing him accidentally.
And so afterwards you began running.
Yeah, although maybe not for the reasons that most would.
And what are the reasons that you decided to run?
I don't fully know, to be honest.
Eventually, you get to the crossroads in which you go down the left path, the darkest path. You continue on with slight babbles of some things, but as you go into the dark depths, the only thing that is said that sort of finishes the conversation between the two of you, with your other two eavesdroppers, Tendra just says,
I don't know what to say other than I hope you find what you're looking for. Because that there is such thing as hope. And I'm sure even you can have it again.
Yeah, and Arco will just say nothing as well. because we're in the darkness.
Fair enough. The darkness fades, and you can just hear, like, and then the animite glows in such tremendous lights, as you see here, as the crown above your head begins to glow in the dark.
Oh, that's amazing. Can you do that with this piece of animite I have? As I reach into my pocket and pull out a chunk.
Sam? Is it?
Sam, you're muted.
Sam's mute.
Just dead silence.
Damn it, Sam.
The one time. Never mind.
Sorry about that. I thought I would. Sorry about that. I actually asked. I asked, "Do you want to hear it?" And then I was like, "Oh, do you? Can I?" As soon as I touch it, I'm assuming I then have to roll to not become entranced by it.
Yes. So roll willpower or wisdom.
Willpower. Or yeah.
I mean, it's the same, isn't it? You have the same modifier.
Yeah,
Who will
actually,
win?
nerve would be better, but it's only +1, so it doesn't really matter. Say 5.
You look at this thing and steal it from his hand like as if it's the precious.
That's less like that. It's just entrancement, Joe. Remember?
Gollum, you
It's just
are. Gollum, you are.
All of them
Greed
not.
is a powerful thing.
It was a
will
willpower, Sam. Gollum, you are.
Who will win? A powerful, inept catalyst or one pink shiny boy?
This is like when all this took Felix's gauntlets, you know? It's just greed, clearly.
You snatch it from his hand and you basically look at it like as if it is the most beautiful thing, like as if you're looking into the eyes of God yourself as you look at his shiny rock.
It has beautiful music.
You cannot pay attention to anything else that is outside of this rock. You are this rock. This rock is you. You have become nothing but rock. You am become rock.
Okay.
As
Rock
you hear this
I'm going to roll
beautiful
the D4
symphony.
to see how long I am in trance before I can roll again.
Yes.
Okay. Please be 1. 3 minutes.
As this sort of weird babbling continues, Felix, you eventually see the little green light above, just on the wall. As you walk in front of it, you're all standing there. Aldous, you continue walking. Continue walking, and Fletcher sort of has to stop you. You do stop walking, but you're still staring at this thing. It's only been a minute. You've still got 2 as you're just staring into this thing, like as if you're staring into the abyss, as it has stared back into
Fletcher's
you.
Fletcher's waving his hand in front of his eyes. Hello? Hello?
I need to remember the exact wording, because I couldn't...
I remember roughly what it is for for both of them. I just
Right, but there's the first initial question.
right. Yeah.
Was it, what would you do if I approached you?
Something like that.
You could either try and say the phrase, or you could all roll a history check.
You know we're bad at those.
I think we should just stay it for 20 minutes and try and figure it out, guys.
By that time, I will be stop being entranced.
Yeah, exactly.
But you may have forgotten everything.
Yeah.
I become blank.
Sorry, why are we here again?
Here, let me
I
just go
am
to the
the
stream.
rock.
Let me just go to the stream. What point of the stream did you...
It was like
Smart,
1.5 hours in.
Oh dear.
Fletcher will try and roll history and be like, if this is the place, what was the code again?
Okay, so roll for it. Oh,
18!
Wow. 18! Nice.
I guess I will also roll for history, just...
Okay.
Where is my history? What's history and intelligence? Okay, so this is a flat d20. Okay. Cool.
You remember.
I remember. I don't forget.
I remember.
I
the passcode.
remember. I'm a smart boy.
So the beginning is how would you approach me? So you basically say to this say to this thing, you say, as I am here, how would you approach me?
Okay. I think who's saying this? Who we pulling
You.
out? Okay.
Big daddy boy.
Your quest, my dude. You gotta say the
I
quest.
love that. Your quest, my dude.
Go on, Gulliver.
As I am here, how do you approach me?
It is silent for at least a good 30 seconds before you then finally hear a voice speak. As it then says, I approach you with my weapon drawn, pointing directly at all of you.
Then you are to be trusted.
Come on in. The rock opens up and reveals a metal door that then begins to, like a circular plate, begins to rotate and eventually opens in 5 different places. As they move apart from each other, you are then greeted with a great blinding light of an entirely synthetically made, built-in metallic lab. As you walk inside, you then see a rather sort of gruff, sort of portly guy. Sort of messy hair that's sort of greying in certain areas, brown in other areas, messy stubble. He's in what looks to be sort of a blood-stained lab coat. And he's wearing khaki chinos. And he just looks at all of you with he's got what seems to be a strange eyepiece over his left eye. Now, what can I do you for? Oh, and don't mind me, I'm just sitting down having a nice little drink. As he seems to be drinking some kind of can of something. But everyone roll me a perception.
Just a can of bean juice.
I'm gonna say, Sam, I'm gonna say that you can now roll wisdom or you can now roll willpower.
Come on,
at this point it is that thing of this is a new scene is happening. You've broken out of the spell. You can also now roll perception.
No idea what he's drinking.
Yeah.
15.
Better idea than I do.
I got a 17.
Okay, so 17, 15, and 10. You find, you notice that there are very large guns pointed at you that are mounted to certain places in the walls, including one just above your heads that is pointed down. As he's drinking what seems to be some kind of can of, it looks to be an alcohol, an alcoholic beverage. It might be a beer or a cider or something.
Again, I think it's bean juice. You can't convince me otherwise.
I mean, it is. I mean, you got a 10. It is quite obvious that it is some kind of alcoholic beverage.
It's alcoholic bean juice.
Yeah.
Beans.
Bean beer.
It's Beans by Beans McGee's.
Well, I mean, I would ask for spare. I would ask if you had a drink spare, but I'm not an alcohol person myself.
You've got a lot of nerve coming to me and asking about beverages when, you got all of these pointed right at you. So tell me who you actually are, and how did you get your hands on my password?
Okay. Well, Felix, do you want to do it? Or?
I'm trying to think how we'd phrase this. Conversation is not my strong suit.
You didn't just hit him and go, oh, come on, why is it everyone wants to point guns at us? I mean, it's not like as if we're evil or anything. Yeah, most people who are evil say that, honey. Also, I'm not an idiot. I have seen the subnet. And I know that you're known as Power Plucker. You, as she then points over to Felix, are known as the Antitoxin Felix. And you, sir, are known as the Invisible Killer, Fletcher. I don't know who the hell you are, as he then points at Aldous, and he goes, but I recognize you, Fury Fist Anake.
We've got the crappiest nicknames.
Hey, look,
Avarice.
don't worry about it.
Avarice.
Mine sounds like a bedroom pun.
It kind of does.
At least
doesn't it?
At least yours makes you sound like a murderer.
Invisible killer.
I mean-
That sounds like a comic book person, you know?
He tries to finish off his tin and he realizes that it's empty and he just throws it off into the corners of the lab. And he
Yeet.
goes, "You're not exactly entirely wrong. But as I said, what are you doing here and why do you want me?"
We're here
Are you?
to ask for your assistance, I believe.
Okay. Well, a lot of people want my assistance for a lot of different reasons. You're going to have to be a tiny bit more specific on that.
It's... Alright, well, I guess I'm holding the conversation now. He needs his wife help because there's something going on with the power that isn't working correctly, and we believe that you have some sort of technique that will allow you to reverse or solve the issue.
And is this true, big man?
Yes, to put it simply, my wife's power is killing her.
What particular abilities does she have?
Did we put that in DMs? I know it's a stockpile ability of some sort.
It is
Oh, it's with an A.
it's an absorption stockpiling ability, but instead of absorbing matter, it's absorbing her own nutrients.
Yeah.
In other words, normally it externalizes the ability. So in other words, like you can touch and grab things, and it breaks that down into like energy that is later to be used for the user's body. This power has reversed itself, and it's actually eating away at any energy and nutrients that she has to add it to a stockpile. In turn, the stockpile is keeping her alive for a lot longer, but she needs to have the ability reversed to not only give her nutrients back, but also then to be able to keep her alive long enough for her to be able to go through basically some kind of therapy that can get back all of her muscle mass and her organ functions, basically.
Yeah, before she ends up looking like Bartholomew Bones.
Yes, which she's not too far off from.
Yeah. So.
So I'm assuming you explain that to me.
Yeah, I would relay that. My brain is.
Yeah,
I got a lot. I did not get much sleep. I'm just putting this out there.
He just says, I see. So, an externalization of an internal ability, or an internalization of an external ability, isn't completely unheard of, but it is quite a rare possibility for something like that to happen in such an extreme case. For the fact that your wife's abilities to do something like this, that's actually quite scary. How long ago did this begin?
Brain doesn't work. God.
I think it happened not long after the birth of the second child, but I can't remember how old you said the second child was.
Yeah. Did we pin that?
I
think
Scroll
she's-
for our pins.
I think she's 3 or 5, because isn't the other one 7 or something?
Something like that. Let me get back to me as I try.
Is your question?
I look. It's a couple of years
We'll
ago
say-
at least.
We'll say 3 years for now. We'll say that she's 3. If we need to retcon it to 5, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. And yet you still haven't been able to find someone to be able to sort it. And I'm assuming that you need my abilities to completely lock it and reverse it. How did you happen upon finding out about me? Not many people know about my abilities. As a matter of fact, most people who hear about my abilities believe that they're complete, well, horse shit, as most people would call it.
Well, I've been searching for a while for just any solution.
And you're about stupid enough to believe it. Any of these lies of logic and deceptions of reality. You would believe a single lie over 1,000 truths. just because that you would hope that she could be brought back.
I'd say less stupidity, more desperation, but yes.
He then has like a really sort of eerie smile. I like you, man. Well, my place is your place. I'll help you.
My place is your place. We're back in Felix's house.
Space.
Look, I'm absolutely fine with anything. I just wanted to make sure that you weren't any creepy weirdos or anything like that. But considering that you would go through all of that, even hear me humiliate you and your story, and still tell me exactly the silliest thing that anyone would ever normally hear. The fact that you would say that all for the sake of letting me know how serious you were. Rather than just try and insult or even threaten me. I gotta say, man, you're different. You're cut above the rest. And all that other shit that they would probably say to someone else. But look, I'll cut you a deal. I'll help you out. Sure, wherever you need to go, wherever you gotta go. But here's the deal. I'm not going anywhere with her. As he then points over at Tendra. But why?
I assume because of the whole power theft thing.
Haha, this guy gets it. Yeah, sorry, doll, I have zero trust in any of these guys, but I have like -1,000,000 with you. What the hell did you think was gonna happen? I ain't letting you get anywhere near me. And besides, don't you understand how this works? I'm gonna heal his wife, you're gonna fuck right the hell off. Do we understand each other? Felix. We had a deal. Yeah, sorry kid, that's not how this works. You either get me, or you get screwed. I'm the only person who ever learned how to use these abilities like me, so that's the problem.
I wonder if we could have asked Adriana.
It's as simple as this, Felix. You want my help. The Hosconian bitch has gotta go. I can't trust someone who would steal the powers of anyone, especially the living. I'm not claiming to be a saint. I've taken powers quite literally almost my entire life. But I would do it all for the sake of one thing. To make sure that dangerous people don't have them. I usually destroy them or even use them to help and heal. But I never use them really for warfare. But at least I don't claim to take them to save the world. If I ever saw a power that I thought was too dangerous to be kept in people's hands, do you know where it went? Nowhere. I literally destroyed the thing, to make sure that no one could ever get their hands on it. This girl thinks that it's quite alright to have a whole bag of them right on her person. Because of course no one else can have them, but she'll do it all herself. The power plucker. Sounds a little bit more innocent than actually its truth is. You kill people and loot their bodies. But sadly, power looter is already stolen by a much better and much more clean killer than yourself. You disgust me. To be honest, I don't think there's anything more disgusting than a person who would use other people's powers and claim it to be for the betterance of the world.
Well, out of curiosity then, what are you doing with your set of powers then, considering you just said you tend to do things for the betterment of people?
And there we go. I am the walking, talking paradox, my friend. I am the scum of the earth that knows exactly where I sit. I sit in the filth, and I lie to people all day long. But do you know what I lie to them with? The truth. I tell them exactly what they don't want to hear, therefore it can't be real. But here's the thing, my little, Animon child friend, I'm assuming. I would
Nice assumption.
I would only steal a person's abilities after their death. once they have no longer got the use in which that I intended them to have, they are completely removed. But trust me when I say this, I have removed myself from the equation of other people because I know that my neurotic tendencies seem to freak people out, and I've tried to correct myself and better myself, but I always do the same thing, fall back into the same crap. Oh, I'll do better this time, I'll change, but I never do. But at least I don't pretend to myself that I'm going to change the world. But do you know what I do? I try to stop at least one person every day from dying from something that their powers, if they didn't exist, wouldn't have happened to them. That's all I do. I don't try and save the world. Hell, I don't even try and save a bundle of people. If I can help one person, then that's all I need to do. And if I don't, I'll look around you. As you begin to notice that behind him there are a lot of, well, to put it nicely, a large quantity of empties behind him. And if
Literally what you described, it sounds like you're doing what she does, but on a lesser degree, and basically think you're a piece of shit. So not me saying that, as, you get what I mean.
Exactly, because I am. But at least I don't pretend to believe that I'm going to save the world. My powers, hell, any one of these powers are a curse. That's just as simple as that. But I at least see that with enough understanding of them, there is some good that can come from them. For instance, the special ability that I can do to reverse a person's abilities. It took a lot of studying and understanding my abilities, figuring out how my powers worked, and figuring out just the right amount of control to be able to do so. It took me 15 years to master it, but I accidentally did it about 16 years ago. All I'm saying is, this ability of mine is incredibly dangerous, and I lock myself away because that I understand something about me. And that is that I don't like people. I understand that if people have these powers, I'd want to change the world. But then who's to say that a person who trips someone over with their ability at creating strings, who's to say that that person won't grow up to be a villain? Oh, well, I have to change them. Who's to say that someone who once killed but has proven their innocence, that they never actually truly killed someone, but instead they were under a misunderstanding? Do they deserve to keep their abilities? And the second that I start thinking that, I realize one thing. My mind will never stop, because I've already gone over the threshold. I've already done the worst there is to do to get these powers off of these people. Why would I stop at just a simple misunderstanding when I've already gone to the point where I've seen them never be able to return? So that, quite frankly, it's pointless. So I hide away. My neurotic contemplations of the world, overthinking as to how people would be and how they would react and how they would interact with their powers. I just left them alone. Because I realized that if I get involved, I take the steps too far. That's the dangerous things about catalyzation. You never know when to stop. Because your abilities need everyone else. Because you keep wanting, keep harvesting, keep going, keep taking. Our abilities don't do anything without anything or anyone else around us. We take from others. That's what makes us special. The fact that we aren't. Because how we're special is however special everyone else is. So that's why I stay away from people.
It's understandable. A lot of those points I agree with, because guess you could say I've gone through similar things, but I don't think that means that necessarily you should hate someone for trying to go for the ideals that you're afraid of, especially if they have mostly good intent in them.
What do they say about that place, that evil place that people go to, and it's paved with good intentions? I can't remember it.
I wasn't really one for those either. But I do get your point. But to sum it all down, unless you're looking for a philosophy lesson, which I'm probably the worst person for, I really doubt he's going to do anything for you, really. And if that turns out the case, if you want reassurance in some way, then what would that be?
Here's my reassurance. I don't wish to be anywhere near another catalyst. She stays or I do. Either way, I'm not going where she goes. Simple
And
as that.
where she went was my pocket dimension. Would you have an issue with that?
You'd be carrying her around with you. I
But she
mean,
can't touch you. And as long as you never go in there, as long as you two never connect, can't do anything to you, can she?
Tendra just looks at you like, what the fuck? And then just says, are you an idiot?
I believe we had this conversation earlier.
Right, gotcha. I'm not going in your pocket dimension, and quite frankly, I don't think I have to leave my companion's side, especially when he hasn't made that decision for himself. Felix. Yet again, I've done it again. Felix.
Every time.
Put another one to the tally.
Yep. What are we on now?
I think it's like 16.
You sure it's not 58?
It's at
haven't gotten that
it's
far.
at minimum 34.
Here is where my mind is going. Felix doesn't really have a choice to have Tendra go away separate. Because either way we'd be going to 10, and 10 would want Tendra there.
Yes. So here's your conundrum. You either need to say something that is any of you guys need to say something that will get her to stay or go. But either way, Felix, you know that like there is a certain requirement of Tendra being there to a certain extent.
I'm afraid I do not have the option to have Tendra be separate.
Then you also don't have the option with me staying with you. Sorry, kid. That's just how it goes.
You say kid.
Are you sure?
Who's older, Felix or Smithy?
Smithy's in his 40s, to be fair.
Okay. He's
I mean-
not that much older.
I mean, he's-
Felix is like 36.
Yeah, I think he must be around about like 10 years older than Felix, actually, now I think about it. But yeah, fair enough.
I was just like calling Felix kid of all people in the party.
I want to point out, it's less about the age thing, and it's more about the fact that he's claiming that you're naive. Listen, I know that you really like her, or whatever. Friendship, slave ownership, whatever are you calling this lovely little nuance thing you got going on. But I don't really care. I mean, I literally don't have to leave if I don't want to. And since none of you guys actually give me any more of a reason to trust her ass, and since I already don't trust people with the same abilities as me, because I know how messed up we are, especially her, I'm kind of in a bit of a bind. I'm not going anywhere with her, and especially not going anywhere with you guys if you insist that she has to be there.
I'll just kind of go over towards Felix and kind of whisper, Can we just bring your wife here?
That might bring some difficulties.
I mean, Anaka has the power to teleport from one destination to the other, or at least make a portal. Can we not just go to your wife and bring her here like that? Considering his only reservation seems to be leaving this place.
trying to think out of game. My brain is slow today.
I mean, yeah, Aldous has
Well.
high intelligence. That seems like a viable. I mean, he has +1 intelligence, which is probably the highest in the group so far.
It's scary how
I'll admit.
how bright you might actually be.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's a way to solve this conundrum.
I mean,
There's so much I want to say, but what Victor said. Ah!
part of me is just like, let's just throw Smithy in the pocket dimension. Take him with us.
That could end even worse.
Yeah.
Just throw him in there with the orb.
The orb.
Yeah.
You're a prisoner too here.
Well, the orb went in of its own volition.
Well, sure.
I mean, I think Lee is technically in your pocket dimension as an unconscious prisoner.
I don't know that.
That's true. You haven't actually been in your pocket dimension. You threw a rolled up map in your pocket dimension. You didn't actually go in it.
Or just smacked her in the face and then just.
Yeah.
Felix, this was all that you ever could have wanted. He could probably be your best chance at saving your wife. What would hold you back?
Current deals.
A deal that requires everyone to be there?
Felix nods.
So
Surely
what? You can't cure your wife and then be like, all right, my side of the bargain's done. I will now complete what is necessary.
I'm gonna roll something from Smithy.
Perception.
We all just whispering in front of him, just.
I'm gonna say,
Fletcher would say that openly
Felix, I need you to roll me a deceit because you are quite literally trying to deceive your party members at this point.
Oh boy, nerve!
There you go.
Oh,
Damn. Okay, yeah.
master of it.
Yeah.
You knew Big Daddy was such a liar.
You
And directly to our
keeping,
faces?
you are keeping your cool, and you're initially telling them, like, yes, there's a reason. But then, when you're asked, like, you know, surely we could just like take him there, do that, and then no, you know, not everyone has to be there, right? You kind of just go, I guess not. Well, then there you go. Why don't I come along with you? Tendra can leave. And I'll go to wherever it is that you need to go. Tendra can follow you along after I'm done helping your wife.
Felix will look to Tendra.
She looks just outraged. Like, Felix, you're not serious, are you?
I'm trying to remember exactly what the deal was.
I mean,
really
I
should.
would like to hear him.
To be fair, I'll DM you whilst
Yes, please.
Yeah.
whilst the others chat amongst themselves.
I thought there was a new master
Aldous
job
just-
opening up here.
Because it's not in
I'll
our
sit you there.
pins. So I'm just like, where's the...
So Aldous, can
And
I
I
have
re-
that chunk of anime back?
To be honest, I was like, we're just going to go over to Inaki and ask, can you keep the portals open from one place to the other?
I mean, for a time if I concentrate on it. But it's not like a permanent thing.
No, but like, could you do it so that wherever his wife is like technically within this room by having the portal there? And this need for all of us to be here could be satiated by that. Aldous tilts his head, confused as to what the bargain means.
Not really. It's kind of like a one-way trip to the place. So I don't think I'd be able to. Thus, I would also have to be where his wife is, or have been there before, which I haven't. So
I did not know that. Sorry. Same. I don't know much about what's going on. I must confess.
However, can't we just use the World Seeker to find my father's place and teleport there?
I mean,
You could just tell us exactly where your father's place is, and then we could just put the coordinates in. That's how it works.
I don't know the exact coordinates. Besides, if you want me to do it and I accidentally get it off by
You
a certain
haven't
point-
been to your father's place?
We make a history
know-
check to when we
I
entered
know-
in those exact coordinates in the teleporter.
Oh, yeah, fun fact, you did not get anywhere close to that. I might as well tell you now, you did not get anywhere close to that.
Rakia is in the room. Rakia is the one.
No, Rakia didn't get anywhere near close, because Rakia doesn't know the exact coordinates. The best Rakia could do is a random location in Huskonia that was not specific to that place. Brakia found out through a clipping of some sort. Actually, no. Rakia wasn't the one that found out. You were the one who had it in your text messages. Rakia just randomly input some new coordinates to Huskonia at one point, and it was close to Huskonia, but let me just tell you now, it wasn't anything to do with 10.
Scrolls up in tens and Felix's chat past all the baby pictures. And
Let me scroll through my DMs with 10. You find the coordinates.
Meanwhile, with the chopped off arm, add back to the group.
Perhaps Animite will tell us where it is. It often gives me visions when sleeping.
You have got the coordinates, by the way, Felix.
Oh, right.
Wait, your Animite gives you visions in your sleep.
Oh yes, that's how I find this group.
Ah. So you bumped into...
Sure, you didn't consume anything before that?
I'm trying to think if I could, since I have my phone out looking for the coordinates, if I could try and text both Tan and Tendra about possibly a way he comes, does this thing, but we somehow have a more stable way to track him, since he'll be entering the location, and so we can hunt him down later.
Yeah, you send those messages. I'm going to ask you to roll me a stealth check, considering that these guys are talking. I'm going to
Did
say...
you turn off the sound for your button pressing or not?
I'm going to say everyone can roll me a perception, but I'm going to say with a disadvantage. And I'm going to say, Felix, you can roll stealth, which is under dexterity, with an advantage.
Okay, so
Oh,
Natural one.
Aldous, no.
No, I don't. No, I know it might sound silly.
18.
You haven't learned the wisdom of Animite, but it can.
Ooh, that was
It is
close.
16.
That was very close.
Powerful
Nathan.
today.
You notice that he's texting on his phone, but you can't see what he's texting.
Nah, he's probably doing something.
Inake, you are the last hope. Roll that.
He's
set-
just
I'm gonna
scrolling
do
through
this
his
anonymous.
phone.
I'll roll, but I don't think Anarcha was paying
You guys are lucky we no longer have utility lower.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Damn, that is scary.
Yeah.
Natural 20, but just a 10. Okay. Nobody notices that Felix is texting these messages. Tendra looks at her phone. And she then just puts the phone down. She then nods at Felix, and you get a message from Felix. Just saying, very well, we shall find out. Please let me know when you are arriving.
So how did you find out about this ability, Aldous?
Yes, just having that casual conversation.
Yeah.
Anaki's
yeah.
probably
I
got
mean-
cookies in his mouth.
Actually,
No.
no. Like, are you gonna eat any of your muffins?
I don't know if I want to touch that. No, because there's a Jenga game I have to play with that. Because I built a house out of them, which means every time I
Remove
have to take a piece from the house.
one muffin from like, the cases of muffins, and the whole thing just falls
Yeah.
apart.
Alright, Smithy,
Well, it's-
you got yourself a deal.
Ah,
Very well then. Sorry, Chick, you're off. Oh, and should probably let you know, you're off my property! As he then snaps his fingers, a weird amount of shimmering light appears from her. She goes, wait, what? And she just disappears.
ooh,
You are
that's
not
a neat trick.
You are not going to regret this, my friend. Not at all. The name's Johnny Smith, but some people call me Smithy, some people call me John, some people call me Johnny. Most people just call me Smithy. Nice to meet you. You must be Felix Fatigue, Fleshu Motatame, Anake, Mononym, and of course, you must be the weird priest weirdo that you keep talking about.
pretty much, I'll just like look through like Felix, like Fletcher, I mean, and then say, "I'll tell you later after all this."
Oh, don't forget my sensei, Rakia. Also, yes, I will. Please do tell me later.
Oh, do you want this Animite back? Perhaps you will get the perhaps it will grace you too,
Ah, yes, please.
and I will give it back. Somewhat reluctantly, but you know, I will give it back.
I've seen a few of your different little exploits, especially the one where you guys fought Toxie. That was pretty impressive, actually. Not bad, not bad. But I'm gonna have to ask you a couple of questions throughout this time, so don't let me hold you up. Also, I have 3 rules. Number 1, don't touch any of my stuff unless if I specifically state or permit it. Number 2, definitely no touching the merchandise, as he like waves over his very unathletic body. And number 3, I should probably warn you about this. If we do find someone that I specifically disagree with, unless I say otherwise, we should probably act with the most prejudice. Don't ask why. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I don't really care what you guys do as long as you don't kill the innocents.
You fine going through portals.
I have no issue going with portals, my man. One time I actually made a camper van that, weirdly enough, had an entire pocket dimension inside of it. It was awesome.
As he's explaining that,
Oh.
I've turned around and I started making the portal.
Felix will give
How you doing?
Anake the coordinates.
I want to point out, are you going to the ruins first, then?
Yeah, to get to the other portal.
Can I ask? Before we go in this time, can I use my amalgam power to amalgamate specifically close to Rakia with their super wisdom?
I don't think you'll
I'm
know where
still
we're
going to
going.
ask you to roll a willpower, dude. Like,
Oh,
like
Actually, that was the thing. I think I can get willpower as because of the final ability. Whoever has the highest willpower.
yes, you can. You absolutely can
Yeah.
do that. Yes.
So who has the highest
Yeah, who-
willpower in the group?
well, Sam, who do you think has the highest willpower?
I mean, I have a 20, so you know.
I'll take Mr. Felix over there.
Uh-huh.
What's his?
was
You
the worst
completely
choice.
ruined
It was
that,
a-
Juice. I was
Thank
hoping
you,
that you
Juice.
go. I was hoping that you go. All right, fine. I'll check Rakia's and just have like a -2 and start like
No, I wasn't going to take
foaming at
Rakia's.
the
I
mouth.
knew Rakia's was terrible. It was going to be Anake or probably Fletcher actually. But if
Roll
Felix says it's bad,
SP. Roll SP.
it's a
Yeah, mine's 19, so you're close. Will be 19 at some point, but
Okay.
try to
Mine's
And then-
also 20, so it really wouldn't have mattered.
I'd say, what is the time limit for this? It's like D6, I think.
Well,
D6.
you have to roll the, the D20 first.
You're rolling it in game chat.
Yeah.
Oh, rip.
Alright.
You
I mean,
bellend.
you know, that one.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, it worked.
Hey, it's a
a
tuna.
slight upgrade from what you rolled in game chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as we go ahead, I will.
Blueberries.
Well, this one's 3 berries, but okay. Oh no, you meant the time limit.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're taking
Yeah.
Anake's or
Sadly,
Felix's
it doesn't count.
willpower.
Yeah.
Either or.
Okay.
Never the highest.
As
Always
you-
the highest number.
As you walk in, you are still rolling me a disadvantage.
What is 20 willpower again?
It
Eight,
is
isn't it?
plus 8.
Plus
Yeah.
8. Yeah.
That's 8. And what is the number I have to beat before I write this?
10, I would say.
What
do you think, Joe?
It doesn't actually say.
I don't know. No, I'm the one who decides it. Well,
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
say because it's an entire facility and it is powered,
Oh,
and I am getting you to roll a disadvantage, I'll say that it's a 15.
That's a good. So I only get a 7. Come on.
Hey!
I am immune to being disorientated in this locale because of this.
Nice.
So you open it up,
Yes.
and yeah, Spiffy is taken aback by this. As you sort of go in, I'm assuming that you just go off to the portal since you've already got the actual coordinates specifically.
Yeah, I pull out the gauntlet of Animite.
Obviously, Felix, I think, would start a group chat with Tendra and Ten, just to text them on my way. When.
I assumed you already did that before. Before
Yeah, Felix would have. I'm just saying, just so we know. So just to confirm.
Yeah. No, I assumed that's what you were doing when you were messaging both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's all good. We've confirmed that now. You now have a group chat between the two of them. Yes. And okay, you obviously
No worries.
take out the glove to activate the portal.
Yep. Yes, I will.
I'm going to ask you, Aldous, roll me 2 separate willpowers. Not an advantage, not a disadvantage. 2 separate ones. One for the glove, one for the portal.
Okay, doke. I mean, to be fair, I was going to have an owl just like once again say, "Hey, you want to hear Animite to see what it sounds like in this location?" That's probably bad. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, I'll
With
pass.
people.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
it's a-
You won't get stunned at the glove, and you won't get stunned at the
Yes!
portal.
No, I never will. It's like,
Yes.
oh, these are new funky sounds.
Well, I can't guarantee the portal only because it does change a lot. But yeah,
Okay.
the glove definitely not. Yeah, you'll be fine. And the only time that this glove is ever going to overwhelm you is if you get punched with it. Because this is gonna.
and even then, not necessarily.
I say this only because that like any of that damage is going to be minimum doubled.
Again, not necessarily.
Oh, almost indefinitely. So, what is it? Yeah, so you basically... The portal begins whirling in a different set of colours, as it is now ready.
Alright, you want to step in first?
Leroy!
Fair.
As Fletcher jumps through the portal.
I will
He's
follow
fucking-
soon after, because he
Okay.
might be my first acolyte.
Fair enough. Felix and Anarche, Smithy goes in before you two and just goes, well, let's hope for the best then, I guess.
Alright, Felix will just walk in after. So we just
Rakia just jumps in along with Fletcher, by the way.
I'm sure Raki is happy that Tendra is not here.
Yes, is ecstatic.
She's
As a matter of
celebrating.
fact, she laughed so damn hard when she disappeared.
Did you kill her?
Please tell me you did. Even if you're lying, please tell me you did. Yes, I killed her. I can tell you're lying, but thank you.
That's the one time. That's the one time Rakia wishes for a natural one on her on their wisdom check.
Wisdom, yeah.
Maybe if I think hard enough, it will be real.
I'm sorry, who are
Anything
you?
could be reality.
In my super intelligence, I deleted my own memories. Yeah, so you guys jump in. And Anarche, I'm assuming you jump in last.
Yep.
Okay. What is
Jenkins.
greeted to as you appear? You are sort of like whirling and whirring through this strange like energy that goes through you and surrounds you. As you sort of see next to you, sort of like flying beside you, is Aldous and Rakia that have sort of jumped in with you at the same time. As suddenly, like, the portal begins to sort of like... It's almost like a tunnel, and the tunnel begins to end as you're now in, like, this strange location. You're covered in a strange force as you suddenly, like, see, like, this weird rippling effect going through the tunnel before, like, the tunnel ends. as the ending of the tunnel hits you, as you now start seeing like physical matter out in the real world rather than through this strange whirling of energy, it's really strange as you suddenly like feel like almost repelled as you're sent flying backwards, as you're flying and falling through the air. As you're doing this, Fletcher and Aldous, you're flying through the air backwards towards a building.
Okay, can I quickly roll? Can I quickly roll to enable flight?
You can attempt to do so, yes.
Okay. Can I both attempt to do that and to grab Rakia?
No. Also, I want to point this out. This is a contesting roll. You're trying to do this. You're trying to beat a certain roll. That is not high enough.
Can I do the same but with intangibility?
You can attempt to do so, but again, yours is again attempting to try and beat something.
Okay.
Yours is plenty good enough. I want to point out though, this is also something that I should probably inform you. As you're looking at this, you how do I put this? Aldous, you see strange distortion bubbles around all three of you, but around Rakia, around Fletcher, and you start seeing it around you. Like it's almost like a heat bubble of sort of distortion that's going around you. As you notice that Rakia slams into this building, and then you then see, like, weirdly enough, like Fletcher begins to sort of like phase as he actually phases outside of his own bubble. The bubble slams into the ground and he just begins falling down. He doesn't hit into the building, and then you immediately slam into the building. We now come back to Anarche, Felix, and Smithy. As you see this, and it's like you're sort of flying through this tunnel of energy, and then suddenly, like, you suddenly feel this weird ripple hit you as you're then flying backwards, and then you just hear Smithy goes, "Ah! I shouldn't have trusted you!" And Felix, you again, both you and Anarche, see this strange sort of distortion bubbles around you as you're flying through the sky. You notice that as you're repelled, you sort of see like strange explosions on a building that is on the opposite side of this building that you've sort of been ricocheted off almost, as you're flying the opposite direction to what you assume is your party. As you slam into, as you begin flying towards another large building, but this building is rather metallic. It looks to be like a very huge metallic facility of some sort. As you begin hurtling towards it, Smithy goes, "Damn you both! Damn you both! I shouldn't have trusted either of you!" Do either of you attempt to do anything, or do you just let this happen?
I might bulk up just in case, but I'm not trying to like escape the bubble or anything.
Okay, I guess roll SP. Actually, no, you don't have to, because I forgot you have your bonus skill. So yeah, you can just be transformed into your. Is it? Have you done it for your Phoenix Force Felix mode or Phoenix Force fatigue?
What?
Felix Force.
I believe we haven't written down the stuff for the two
Berries.
Because it's a quick action now, isn't it? Because you got a special ability from one of your accolades, which is a quick action version.
Quick action for Fatigue Force Felix.
Yes. Yeah.
Well.
So yeah, you don't have to roll for it. You just activate it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, you just bulk up. And Arcade, do you do anything as you're hurtling through the sky?
I'll take a moment of consideration, and then I guess. Oh, do I try and save Smithy? Nah. I'll just try and activate flight.
Okay, roll for it.
Natural 20.
You do indeed succeed, and you burst through this bubble, but you are also falling at great paces as you eventually sort of stop yourself with as much power as you possibly can. You still feel yourself ripple through this bubble, almost like bursting through a strange distortion bubble. As you look back and you see these two flying towards this large facility, as you just see like three big explosions as they slam into this huge place. We come back to Aldous. Aldous, you get up. You are absolutely fine. You are unharmed.
Huh. Do I feel like another religious experience of Animite saving me
I
at the
mean,
last moment?
No. As a matter of fact, as you look around, it begins to make a little bit more sense as the building that you have slammed into, it has a massive crater, and it's not U-shaped either. Some people are terrified, and even some people are on phones trying to call the authorities as you have basically smashed through what seems to be an office building. As Raki is sort of shaking her head, just sort of scratching the back of her head, wondering what just happened, as she is also completely unharmed.
Can I very quickly use time sense to see what made this giant like crater?
Roll for it.
Just to destroy that mystery. Okay.
I won't even ask you to roll like the amount of minutes because it's literally just happened. You just
I can see an R into the past.
again. You really don't need to do that, but like you look because again you're touching the crater. You just basically feel like as it's breaking open, you notice that it breaks open before your body even touches it. As you slam into it, it's almost like as if you squish against what seems to be like a large bubble of strange pressure, as eventually it's like it cushions you. It all happens very quickly, but it seems as though whatever that distortion bubble was, it saved you from basically being killed by being flung out of the air at about anywhere between 600 to 800 miles per hour, basically.
Portal didn't do that last time, and why were we in the air? I guess we like go over to Raki and see if they're okay.
Rakia seems to be absolutely fine. Again, very, very much questioning what the hell happened, but she's absolutely fine. No worse for wear, no damage on either her or her clothes. Although both of you are a little bit dusty and dirty from the debris, but nothing else, like no damage whatsoever. As we come to Fletcher, you are now falling as you just go right into the concrete. And as I mean right into it, I mean you continue falling and falling and falling through the concrete again and again and again and again and again. You keep going and going and going.
Can I activate Phase Swim?
Yes, you absolutely can. And depending on your roll will depend on something.
Let's see how close
Oh.
to the center of the earth you get.
Yeah, I see if you've gone through the earth or not. Just pop out the other end.
Yep. I end up in the land of the rising sunken moon.
Wow, okay.
30.
So you do begin to slow yourself down using your intangibility face swim, and then just launch yourself back up as you rise back up to greet the city street. As you look above you, you can see 3 giant holes in the building that you should have slammed into.
Oh, avoided that. That looked like it could hurt.
As we now come back to Anarche end, pals. Anarche, you've just seen these guys slam into this, creating very large explosions of some sort. You notice that there are 3 gigantic dents in this metal fortress of a place. One which is empty, one which is filled with a very confused-looking Smithy, and one which is filled with a very confused-looking Felix. Felix, as you have slammed into this thing, you have felt no pressure or anything that would have or should have caused you damage outside of your transformation. However, I would still like you to roll me a nerve, considering you did think that you were about to slam into the earth at supersonic speeds.
Okay.
Du-du-du-du-du.
To be fair, there's a part of me that's like, this is probably something 10 had set up. I don't know.
Yeah, you keep your cool just about. As a matter of fact, you sort of like your heart begins to like beat slower as you just go, whew, that was a close one.
Felix standing up, dusting himself off. I was already at max, but I might as well.
Fair.
Yay! Stockpile!
I guess roll me a wisdom or intelligence. Felix, I guess.
I think this. Question: are we in a suburban area?
I'm gonna say you can use your suburbanite one only because that not only is it a city thing, but also because it's a 10 thing.
Yeah, it says I have advantage on history. So
On history checks, what? Sorry.
just on history checks while in a suburban.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
So. To be fair, I don't have any modifier. I don't get super intelligence or anything.
Fair enough.
So 9.
You have no idea what's going on here. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but you're not dead. And thankfully, neither is Smithy. And Anarche is flying.
I'll check my phone. I would assume that both Tandra and Ten are using the band to track my location.
Fair. Whilst this is going on, Anarche, you just see that Felix just stands up, looks really confused, and then starts checking his phone, whereas Smithy is just screaming something. You can't really hear him from the distance that you're flying from.
Oh, the peace and quiet. I'll fly down. I won't touch the ground. I'll just fly down near him.
They're actually. I should probably also say that in their dents, they're actually quite a lethal distance away from the ground. Well, lethal for the average person, not lethal for Felix. He could just fall and be absolutely fine.
Yeah. Alright. Well, I still won't touch the ground.
Don't worry.
I'll fly down to where Smithy is.
What the hell was that? I didn't think you guys travelled through whatever the hell that was.
Well, that was the Onga thing that they made.
Well, whatever it was, it didn't seem like as if you were supposed to do that. Unless if this is...
No, that normally doesn't happen. So, it's a new one for me.
And you're saying that this thing usually just takes us to a spot completely safely?
Yep.
Also, where are the others? Surely they'd be here with us, right?
Yeah, they've just crashed into separate buildings. They're all fine.
So we're separated.
For now.
Well, hopefully they know which building to go to, I guess.
Also, do you need help getting out of here, or...?
Well, considering I can't fly, that would be helpful.
I make him a staircase out of energy.
Does Aldous have a phone?
Do I have a phone? I
And
guess I
if so-
probably would.
I
And
guess
if-
so, considering, but I don't think that you guys ever traded numbers.
Yeah, wait. I mean, I've barely been able to convert any of you yet, let alone get your numbers.
Alright,
No.
well...
I
if
I
you
probably
guys...
just fly towards you.
Well, if you guys think for 2 seconds, you
I want
do
to point
know
out
the
you're on
band.
the other side of the city from each other, and I want to point out you three didn't see them three land. Anarche was the only one who actually noticed you three were going off in a different direction. So you haven't even
Okay.
seen what's happened to them yet.
Well, if you need to find us, just use the bands.
Do you have a band?
He does
No,
not
I don't.
know. Aldous does not know.
Yeah, but there are
Rakia and
members.
Fletcher do. So you still got 2 out of the 3. I mean, it's the
A
exact
safe
same ratio.
assumption.
It's the exact same ratio for this one, for this lot as well, because Smithy doesn't have one, but you two do. So I mean, same ratio.
Yeah.
He gets down. He gets down thanks to your energy staircase. It's just like, where the hell did we land anyway?
Looks for like a building sign.
Yeah.
You eventually find it. It says the Iron Forge.
Hmm.
Little on the nose, don't you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we made quite a mess. We should probably get the hell out of here.
Yes.
Sounds good to me.
Should we just fly out of here, or?
Well, considering I can't fly, and unless if Felix is about to suddenly levitate, I'd say we're probably...
I mean, I was just gonna make a platform for you, and then we could just.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yep. Alright.
You make
I'll
a
make
platform for me.
yeah, and then I'll control that when I'm flying, just to fly alongside me.
The lily pad all over again.
Yep.
Except energy. And no carpet.
Yep.
What is your move speed,
Yeah.
Anarcho?
25, so this would take a while.
Yes, 12.5 kilometers. So basically a Segway speed. But you know
Yep.
what? At least you're flying in style.
Yep. Nice cruise.
Yeah. So we now come back to Aldous and Fletcher.
Could I make my way rapidly up the building to where the explosions happened?
Yes, as a matter of fact, you do actually get up to them, and you notice that neither of them are damaged. However, they do look both very confused.
Is everyone okay? Oh, you guys are okay. That's good. Oh, you guys had me worried there. It looked like you exploded.
I thought I almost did. But no, it seems that whatever the disciples of Adamite made with that device, it seems that flying in midair involves bubbles with that. So they don't
That's
die.
strange. That's not how we
Maybe-
used to tell before.
Maybe it's a safety mechanism. They were very intelligent. Listening to Adamite and all. So maybe that's
But
space
what
part
was
of
it
it is that the coordinates were in midair rather than on the ground.
Could be. Why would Felix have coordinates to just a location in midair? Oh, actually, speaking of which, where are they?
Yes, perhaps we should get higher and take a look for them.
Well, we could just track them using the bands.
Aldous,
And I can help you.
Aldous nods. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Do you not have one?
No.
It's honestly probably for the best. Nothing but bad luck has come with it. So, yeah, we should probably get on the ground. Be easier to go that way.
So,
Actually, from where we're standing, can we actually see where? I'm assuming we're still like on the top of near the top of a building. Can we see where the other creators are? From where we are?
I guess roll perception.
I was waiting for that.
Let's see. Don't forget Rakia's magnificent 20,000.
I'm not rolling for Rakis. By the way, I will say, Fletcher, this is a site-based perception. I need you to roll me disadvantage now.
Ooh, interesting.
Yes,
Changes to the
because
system.
remember, you have a missing eye, and most of the times the perceptions could be, audio-based, spell-based. This one is very much directly and only audio, like visual. Sorry.
Oh,
Nope.
Turns out
Four.
you're just like the blank spot is exactly where they are.
As for you, Aldous, you are looking around. You can't necessarily see any showcases of cratering, anything specifically exploding or anything like that.
Do we see flying high Anake being a big gigantic sun?
No. I will say, however, you do still see the building that you were falling away from, or flying away from. When you first appeared, you see this building.
I would suspect they're over there. That seems to be where we almost fell onto.
well, I know the fastest way down. I can get you down there quick.
You then just,
as
you then
I-
just hear like a very strange whistling sound, Aldous. Like
Is it an Animite sound?
it sounds more like a sound of something flying through the sky at very breakneck paces.
Okay, I'm very quickly, and I mean very quickly, going to actually, yeah, can I grab both? Can I attempt to grab both Rakia and Fletcher and use his powers? Like using power catalyst causes powers to activate.
My powers are already active.
I mean, to activate on us.
I mean, you can't touch him because.
But I can put my hand inside of him. Or towards him.
In that case, I'm going to have to ask you to roll me a dexterity, which is now going to have to be contested.
For superpower manipulation, I should say. That's the thing.
It's still dexterity to touch him fast enough.
Okay. With my really, really rubbish dexterity. 14!
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah!
Roll me superpower manipulation, which again will be contested.
Finally,
Come
I
on.
can drink.
32!
Hey, I'm pretty sure you got this. Yep. As you touch both of them, like you put your hand on Raki, you put your hand inside the arm of Fletcher, and you start activating your abilities. It somehow works, and you basically you become intangible. The weird thing is, Fletcher, is that you look around and you're like, oh, that's a really weird feeling. You look over and you just see this gigantic, like the best way I can say it is this gigantic creature, long black hair flowing in the wind, and just like a coat that is only over his shoulders as a giant red fist that looks like as if it's heated red hot steel goes right through Aldous' head as he slams into the building's floor. A massive explosion that just tears apart the floor and burns it up as you guys are flying down in through the debris, as all three of you are intangible and holding on for dear life as you keep going through floor by floor by floor by floor. The debris
What
and
the hell is that?
the debris and the smoke covering up whatever the fuck that was.
Perhaps that wasn't the ongoers. Perhaps that wasn't the Disciples of Animite's move. Perhaps that was some other treachery.
You then just hear Raki go,
I don't care, but whatever it is, let's just get the hell out of here.
I can agree with that.
As you continue flowing down, you eventually get to the street level. What do the three of you do? Or should I say, what do the two of you do whilst holding on to the third one?
Can I attempt to do... sorry.
Oh, do you want to go first, or should I?
I mean... You go ahead
Probably
first.
I could Alright, I'm going to activate Phase Swimmer Rush.
Mm-hmm.
This succeeds, and I'm going to launch in the opposite direction of the building.
Fair enough.
As fast as I can swim away.
Okay, fair enough. I'd like you to roll me a move speed.
Alright.
Now, what is your new move speed? Thanks to this.
It is 12! It is... Phase Swimmer is now 12 meters plus my 6, so I think it's 12 plus 12.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
Just have to have a look at this. Okay. Yep. As you dart off, you just leave whatever that was behind. As you just keep going as fast as possible. And okay, I'm assuming that you're flying them towards the building that you bounced off of, or are you going towards the building that you saw the 3 explosions at?
Yeah, although at this point he started just more paying attention to energy signatures because that's way easier to find them rather than actually looking.
I mean, the building that they're at is way out of your range. Like it like for instance, the height of your maximum range is around about like 900, or is it 600? I think.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's that close, but
either way, it's a massive like range. But even still, like the buildings are like multiple kilometers away from you, including the building that you were launched off of, like that you bounced off of. However, the building that they're at is actually double that distance away from you.
Felix, do you want to tell them when we can meet up?
Sure.
Because then we can just go straight to.
Only thing is,
Pin.
Felix, you also know that none of them have phones, or at the very least, you don't know if any of them have phones, which also kind of makes this complicated, because you also now know they don't have your number, and you don't have theirs.
Could I fiddle around with the band and see if it has like a messaging system?
Very well. What kind of commands would you like to try and give into this band?
Commands like send message or call or
It begins sort of like squiggling around, like sort of darting around, like glitching out. Because you go send messages, call, and it just like you're giving it so many commands, it just doesn't understand.
I mean, I give it one at a time, see what works, what doesn't.
Just say, try like, I don't know, like a cool Fletcher or something, maybe that'll work.
Sure. Beep boop boop. Call Fletcher.
Beep boop boop. Call Fletcher. It then sort of like throws out a question mark in front of you. This time it does not look glitchy when it does this.
Does Fletcher have a title though?
He has a last name.
Oh, what's his last name?
Man, if only I could see it.
Don't worry, my mind's eye.
Call Fletcher Motorway.
Motorway. Another question
You're just
mark
a
goes
completely
up on
random person.
Another question mark goes up on your bed.
Yeah, call Fletcher Motoname.
Fair enough. Close enough. It begins doing a thing where it like shows you a phone, like doing a little animation of ringing. Fletcher, you like as you're like phasing and holding these two, you suddenly feel like a really weird sort of buzzing on your arm, like a tingly feeling on your arm.
Your arm is vibrating.
I look at my band.
It's calling and it says, "Being called by Felix Fatigue."
The bands can do that. Answer.
It begins to like open it up and answer, as you see a face, like a picture of Felix's face.
Ah! Oh, hey Felix.
Is my face that frightening?
No, we're just in the middle of something. What's up?
So obviously we got separated in the blast, as you can clearly tell. I need to give a location for us to meet up at. Would 10 have given like a place in text to go to?
I mean, his laboratory.
Yeah, but
which is where the coordinates were.
That's a Google search, my dude. Come on.
And secret basement.
Well, he pulls up with his other hand the phone just to get the address.
Yeah. It's to be fair, you are flying above most of the buildings at this point. It is relatively easy to see where the laboratory is, considering that like when you appeared, it was like right there. But when you search it up, it looks identical to the building that you've like flew away from when you first appeared here.
Right. So
I
will.
So you now
will,
also have the address as well, by the way.
Yeah, I'll give them the address. If any of you have a phone, a GPS could be very helpful in this situation.
Rakia, do you have a phone?
Rakia is kind of busy as she goes, "Guys, is that supposed to be normal?" As you look back and there's just fire just appearing, like just a fireball following you, as it then just like screams out just a voice as it just goes, "You will stop in the name of Husconian law!"
Can't talk anymore, Felix. The law is chasing us. Gotta go.
As the footage of his face just disappears like into a single dot of light as that also dissipates on the screen that is your arm.
I'm sure they're fine.
Yeah, they got this.
Yeah.
Alright, to the lab then.
The laboratory. Oh
Yeah.
god. My band's acting up.
You have been billed 40 points.
As this is where we shall end this session. I think this is quite a nice little wrap up point to this section.
Yeah, people are being chased by the law. We're going to a laboratory to get my wife.
It's all good in the hood.
Yeah, everything's going according to plan.
Lovely.
Well, thank you very much
I
for
will.
listening. If you wish to watch more of this content, please check out the AnimiteTales on YouTube, and also at me, at AnimiteTales on Twitter. We also have the AnimiteTales website where you can check out this tabletop RPG and playtest it for yourself. Give us feedback and let us know exactly what you do or don't like about the game, but also, more importantly, help us build a community that can that outlast whatever we wish to in the full fine theory of weirdness, as we have now tackled flying fireballs and floating bubbles. Thank you very much for listening, and as always, have a wonderful night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't commit regicide.
Wait, what?